Good evening, Internet. So we meet again in this dark place. I'm CADAVE, happily the GM of tonight's session of London Calling, a Vaesen actual play here on the Happy Jacks RPG Network. I'm glad that you could join us for episode 2, because we have some mysteries to solve in the far away from London town of Liverpool. But the world's getting smaller every day thanks to technology, like the radio, which is why our intrepid group of mystery solvers, why didn't I say like investigators or Vaesen hunters or anything else, but mystery solvers it is for tonight. They're all on their way there to figure out why the BBC can't seem to get a radio tower built outside the city of Liverpool to increase their broadcast range. I'm excited to see what's about to happen. So I will start going around the table to let everybody introduce themselves. Clara.
You prepped me for this, but I did not study. Hi, I'm Clara, and I'm playing Saoirse Sheehy. I'm using the writer playbook for this game, and she is an Irish immigrant to England who is allergic to Vaesen. It was the one thing I asked for, and it's dumb, and I love it.
All right, Mitch.
Yeah, hi, I am Mitch. I am playing Diablo Amon, and today is going to be very spicy, so buckle up. You get your napkins.
Hi.
Kurt.
Hi, I'm Kurt. I am playing Jackie Princeton, the Texas Tornado. He's using the athlete playbook from the new book that's coming soon, and he is a boxer.
Very cool. And Sam.
Hello, I'm Sam, and I play Sean Jones, who is a real occultist and fake Welsh person.
That's fair.
But did we establish where she's from originally, or is it
No.
No? Okay, so she's just fake Welsh.
Yeah, she's
Could be
just fake
anything.
Welsh. We're just Anna Delvying our way through this one.
I love this.
I feel like if you were hunting for a thing to try and Anna Delvey your way, choosing to be a Welsh occultist is not really high on the list of diving into the halls of power.
No, we're not going to make a lot of money this way, but she's trying.
Sure.
I don't know, man. Because none of us remember the exchange rate. We're making a ton of money regularly.
No, actually, thanks to Erica Odd on the Discord for Happy Jacks. By the way, you should totally go check it out if you're interested in cool tabletop RPG peoples. She calculated out that the exchange is about 77 of today's dollars to a British pound. So it's worked out that I think that they're paying you about 15 grand collectively.
Yeah, but how much is PayPal taking from that percentage?
It's really just the tax man that you have to worry about at this point. Although I don't really know how you report Vaesen hunting, as income. But
the last thing we want is to get arrested for tax fraud.
I mean, if you wait till the end of this tax cycle, I'll let you know what Vaesen hunting will get you in response to the IRS. So it's okay. It's good.
I like that. It's that there's the trope I have now discovered and don't quite love, where it's like when you do a sci-fi game, they make you spend a bunch of money and track how many finances because everyone's in debt. We should add that element to the Monster of the Week style games where we have to do our taxes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the worst monster of all to have to fight.
Truly the worst
Mhm,
monster.
mhm.
The tax monster. No, thank you.
Well, just like imagine like the ultimate bureaucratic fae, right? Like like they're immortal, so they can take all the time to go through all of your records that they want, and they will make sure down to the last piece of 8 in your family's history that you have paid up.
That's
Yeah,
mine. I'm stealing that for later.
Look,
yeah.
I've played a tax guy or an accountant in Exalted, and other people at my table were not happy or pleased. They
Hey,
were just
I'm looking forward to Sherlock home ownership.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh god.
Nice.
Are we settling down already? Oh my god.
I was gonna say, yeah,
I
every
think the
time.
house adopted us.
Yeah, the house adopted us. The house wants us here and likes us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
so
should
far.
change the intro to be more like a sitcom where Diablo just kind of pops out from under the bed and like they're like Diablo. It's like ah.
Well,
Turn and smile.
that's what I'll have to do. I'll have to be like, okay, Bill, we really love the intro movie you made for all of us, but now we need 80s sitcom lesson intro.
Yes.
I need that game now. I need its like tune, but it's just the 80s sitcom version of that.
Yeah,
We
that'd
should
be
probably
pretty
play
good.
this game.
Yes, we should. So first things first, since I am privileged to have Sam back in the game, did you put together an amazing amount of note taking and recap from last time?
I wrote things down if that's what you meant. Would you like me to read it?
That'd be awesome.
Okay. It was spring in mid-March in London. We each received an invitation to the Rose House tomorrow anytime after 9 a.m. Diablo wants an early night, but Sean isn't having it. She insists on doing some reconnaissance on the house. Meanwhile, Jackie Princeton decides to go out for an underground boxing match and meets a better than expected opponent, but still wins 10 pounds. Sean and Diablo sneak very well to get a view of Rose House, which is stately, sprawling, but in a bit of disrepair. Sean does a reading on the house itself and gets a sense of grogginess and waking up. No malevolence, but a bit of excitement. There are some scorch marks on the outer wall stones, but not in the house. Mitch gives the taxi driver anxiety. Good job. Then they all have tea and retire for the night. In the morning, the front door has now been cleaned and the brass is gleaming. Jackie shows up early. Sorsha shows up and fangirls at him, getting an autograph on one of her many pamphlets. Sean walks up and says hello to the house, but not the people, and then the humans. Butler opens the door, and the inside of the house looks immaculate. Diablo talks cleaning tips with the butler. He shows us a great library, full spiral staircase, artifacts, a fireplace, a globe bar. Hawkins is the butler's name. There's an armory with weapons across the hallway. Sean chooses a nice pistol and helps Sorsha and Jackie get some coffee via the pull cord. Sorsha follows Hawkins to the kitchen and asks if anything else is living here. She gets a no from Hawkins and sets out some milk for the locals. Sean collects a stack of reading on Vaesen while Diablo looks for some info on his smiling man. Hawkins brings the coffee and then a big gong happens. He answers the door and takes a card and envelope from the person. The card is from John Charles Waltham Price at the British Broadcasting Company, and the letter requests assistance from the society with some mysterious goings on. Sean reads and asks to be shown to her room on the second floor and chooses her room first, the green one. She heads down to hang some seaweed in the back kitchen, chats to Jackie about the BBC and their mystery. Meanwhile, Saoirse is gardening, which Diablo objects to, so she does some auto writing, channeling the house. A garden sketch happens, and it's happy and kempt. A nice calligraphy sentence, and then some block print. Sean and Saoirse play dueling Celtic superstitions in the kitchen, and Hawkins calls them a cab to go to the BBC. Diablo challenges Jackie to a spar and creeps him out a little while they wait for the cab. They stop at Jackie's for a hat change and then on to the BBC. A receptionist phones in our arrival, and a woman in a severe bun takes us to the elevator up to an open sitting area with a man in a suit. John Charles says they've had trouble expanding their station near Liverpool. Mr. Peter Eckersley, the chief engineer, was sent to build a tower a week ago, but he said strange things have happened. The metal had been disassembled and rebuilt in wood. They've been digging in the hill a bit and some trenches towards the town. They bought the land from a man named Richard Keith. Sean and Jackie proposed their respective shows to the BBC and agreed to £250 and the option for their shows on the radio. The man brings us a contract and £100 advance. On the way out, Diablo asks Jackie for lady advice. Wait, no, he's just trying to get him to catfish the secretary. It doesn't work. Sean and Saoirse head to the Rose Library to cross-reference local legends about Vaesen that live in hills and ones that hate metal. Fae are unlikely to have touched the metal, probably more of a trickster. Local legends point towards a will-o'-the-wisp, an ash tree wife, or maybe a leprechaun. Meanwhile, Diablo, cosplaying as Sean for some reason, and Jackie go to pay a visit to Peter Eckersley's family. The lady of the house answers the door. She's cooking dinner for her 2 kids and says her husband may not be back for 2 weeks. They get her talking, and the neighbor hated the radio and was an old... I just wrote and was an old. Rude. They did not get his name. Suspicious. Sean prepares some for the potential Vaesen. With Will-o'-the-Wisp, we just need to return the land that was taken. And if it's an ash tree wife, you kill the tree and they die. If it's a leprechaun, the flesh is weak but agile. They hate Christianity and religion and are mean when riled. After research, she heads to bed, and Diablo finds a full bedroll under the bed and whittles himself to sleep. Jackie bunks down in the red room. Saoirse fell asleep in the library. And then the next morning, I believe we have some sport to attend to.
Yes, we'll get there in just a moment. Before we warp again forward to when you guys are on the train.
Yes.
So, first thing in the morning, bright and early, the sun has just risen. That dew evaporating steam, right? You know, of a warming sun on the grass in the yard. We find Jackie Princeton, the Texas Tornado, and Diablo Amon in the yard getting ready to square off. So I think it would be a great time to do a little practice combat if you guys are up for that.
Oh, yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I have a little deck of cards that came with the game that provides the initiatives. So do either of you have any talents or special things that give you any initiative help? I don't think so, right?
Nah, other than a revolver.
Oh, I see.
You couldn't bring a gun to a fist fight.
Little
Like, bam,
Indiana
I win.
Jones first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
All right. So let us start with Mitch. Your initiative is 5.
Woo!
And here comes
Number.
Coming in hot.
Jackie
Oh, 6.
with a 6.
Fast.
So Diablo has a slight advantage.
Wait.
So I think
Hold up
I think
that card
Jackie's
again.
like, all right, don't.
Is that a 9?
Isn't it? With the little thing underneath
It has the line on it.
No. They all of the numbers have a crown.
Oh,
it's a
okay.
crown.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
I think it's upside down, my guy.
It's the Royal 6.
Yeah,
It's the Royal
because-
6.
Because the 9 also has a crown on top.
Excellent. Okay, sorry. Usually it's
Okay.
on the bottom.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But no.
Not
they-
that I think it matters.
Yeah, it's just who goes first, who goes second. You could have a 10 on your initiative and be still next after a 5 if there's only 2 people fighting.
It matters. All
I care
know,
about good typography.
all I know is that the tornado had a 6 and a 9, which is that's cool.
Nice.
Nice.
So it is up to you, Diablo.
All right.
So-
Oh, is
You
it
get to
low to
take-
high?
Yeah. We just go in numerical order. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so Diablo, when you as we're kind of like circling each other, you know, his shirt is already off. There's kind of like these scars, places where he's stitched back his body several times again and again, crisscrossed and weird like bruises and such. His fingers are a little wilted down from nights of screaming into his arms and clawing at the wood boards just underneath Sean's bed. But he will start to strip down. He goes commando. So as he takes off his pants, and then just kind of in the sunrise, you know, the sun kind of coming in on this garden, is just bare naked in front of you as he just kind of like stretches a little bit, and you kind of hear like these pops and creaks and cracks as if, you know, he was shaking off the rust off an old building. And he looks at you and he says, lucharemos, desnudos y nos consigueremos entre el sudor y la saliva, tú y yo.
And I think he's like, BNE2.
No, that was good. That was good. No, that was. Thank you for the effort. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to hurt you now. So just you come at me and we'll figure it out.
No, look, we'll do it like the Greeks, okay? You come a little bit closer, place your hands upon my shoulder. I'll place my hands upon your shoulder. We start when the stillness of our breath starts, like right before the battle, you know, when you kind of suck in that air right before something beautiful and violent happens. Are you ready? Come on closer. Let's do this.
I don't know. I ain't much of a wrestler, but I mean, all right, I did a little bit. And he he takes off his shirt. He gets over closer. He's like, all right.
Right.
Puts his hand on your shoulder.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, nice. Do my shoulder workouts?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. No, you look like you take care of yourself. That's good. It's good to know I can rely on you like that.
I mean, you got to, right?
No, I don't have to. I could take you out on the way up there. I got several guns, a bullet, some poisons.
I mean,
knife,
sounds like cheating,
razor.
Diablo.
I mean, this is the only time that it'll be fair. After this, everything is honor and fairness is off the table, right?
Man, you are an intense dude. All right, let's go.
All right, hey, you go first. I want to see what you can bring. So go ahead. Come at me.
All right. So you like delay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you technically have 2 options here. You can just allow your turn to pass and then let Jackie make the first move. But then you preserve the order, so it'll come back to you next. Or you can switch initiative cards if you want.
I'll delay. I want to see what Jackie got. You know, it's probably, what is it? Is it a hot morning? Is it a cold morning? Well, what we got here?
Not, I mean, the sun is warm, but temperature-wise, it's still probably in the 50s. Like, it's climbing, and the sun beams are nice and warm, but the stuff around you is damp. The grass is still damp. That kind of.
All right.
All right. So, go ahead, Jackie.
Well, he's not much of a wrestler, but I think he'll try to like throw you.
Okay. So that would be a physique plus force.
Yep. So I'm at 7.
All right. Physique.
Oh shit! I dropped one.
Yeah, see,
ooh.
that's an automatic fail. Drop
That's
dice.
that's
you
a
just
nothing.
Explode.
Nothing. Okay.
What?
Yeah. So
So
nothing. My dice betray me.
he's got his hands on your shoulders and tries to go for a throw, but just doesn't have a grip, right? Just grip strength is not a primary boxing attribute, so he doesn't have a good grip and just isn't able, like tries a few times and is just not making any progress at all.
Yeah, I'm looking at him, and in the reflection of his eyes, I'm seeing my parents saying, "No, please God, no," as I slowly take bites out of their cheeks. And I'm like, you gotta go, Tornado. Use your hands, grip it, move, as if this fight was a fight for your soul. And I'll postpone my turn again.
Okay.
All right. I think that's a little too weird. And I think he pushes you back, right, to get some distance and goes into a fighting stance. He's like, all right, no more hugging. You come at me. I ain't doing this no more. Now come on. And he gets into his fighting stance with his arm out like an idiot.
Okay. Now, you with your fast action, Diablo, you could try and stop him from getting away from you.
No,
Okay.
I respect the distance that he needs.
Okay.
You know, you don't miss something unless it's gone.
All right. So he steps back and is ready, and now it's back to your turn.
All right. He's gonna bite his right pinky to draw a little bit of blood, and then like just clench his hands into fists. And let's roll this.
All right. So physique and force.
That's a 10.
You have 10? Bananas.
BANNN. I don't know. 3 successes.
3 successes. All right. So with your fast action, Jackie, you can.
I'm gonna try to parry. I'm gonna block.
Okay. Very cool. So you would
or
roll.
actually, I think I'm gonna try to dodge. I think I'm gonna duck out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
You gotta
I think it's
load
more
up your
safe if he
arms
ducks.
like shotgun.
Yeah.
So
And he tries to duck out of the way.
So let's do physique agility.
Oh shit, it's agility. All right.
For a dodge, yeah.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Dodge with your chest.
All right.
Packs.
Okay. So I got I got 2 successes. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 2 successes. Yeah.
2 successes. Okay. So he comes in and he goes for a punch, and you go to move out of the way, but it still sort of catches you a little bit. So you don't actually have to mark this down because we're not. Well, I mean, I guess that's up to the
No. These are lovely taps in
Okay.
anticipation for a fight that will come before the end of the campaign.
It would be mark a condition, mark a physical condition.
Oh, okay.
Right. Because you managed to dodge 2 of his 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so you would take 1.
Okay.
Like that. So you're a little surprised maybe that that it still connected that hard, even though you thought you were dodging out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's your reaction, and now it's your turn. You can take a.
Yeah. And Diablo doesn't punch with his fist. When he goes up, he just kind of slams with elbows and knees in very sensitive and unfortunate areas.
Gotcha. Maybe that's why he wasn't expecting you to fight.
Yeah.
Try to elbow me.
It's like, where's that arm going?
He's dodging where the fist should be. All right. So he's gonna try to hit you. He's gonna hit you back.
Oh yeah.
and it'll be a body shot because we're bare knuckle boxing. He doesn't want to break his hand. All right, so oh shit, that's 4
I'm about to get wrecked.
successes.
4 successes. All right.
I want to take this.
Okay. So I mean, it's your option would be you could use your fast action to dodge.
Nah.
You can parry. Okay.
Yeah,
if you're just gonna take it.
Yeah,
that
I want
would
to
be-
feel his intensity upon me, you know?
So that's just like he just solid punch right to the bread basket, right? Like knocks the wind out of you. You're like, oh. So if you took 4 damage at once, that would be all 4 of your physical. So it would be like a knockout, sort of punch. But again, since this is a sparring match, we're not gonna worry about that. But clearly, it was a punch that you were probably not expecting to be as fierce.
You know, he has a weak grip, but man, when he like closes his fists, magic happens.
Yep.
And do you like what happens to you? Do you double? Do you just back up? Like what?
I'll get down on my I'll get down on my knees and I'll just like place a hand on your tummy, just like you win. I'm spent.
Oh, I'm sorry, Diablo. I didn't. And he throws his hand down to help you up.
Oh, thank you. And he'll hug you, just kind of bringing you in.
I think he sort of pats the middle of your back, and he's like, "All right. Sorry, I hit you so hard. You threw me off with all the smack talk and the grappling, and it just, I don't know. Sorry, sparring match shouldn't have hit you so hard.
No,
But you know what? That elbow.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'd been a split second shorter, I don't know. You probably knocked me out.
Yeah, no, I was trying to break your jaw.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. But you know, this, you know, Sean's important to me. He's gonna say this while like putting on his pants back on. And I need to make sure that if something happens to me, there's someone out there who can make sure she can, you know, sleep well at night. So it's good. There'll be a point in time, I think, in the future when we're all screaming in pain and hell is just a foot away from us. And you're going to need to do the same thing you did to me, to someone else. And I hope you don't hesitate.
Well, I'm happy to put myself between anybody that means to do any of us harm and any of y'all. But man, you are just so intense. Are you really see that? Like, you seeing this? Is it something like? Do you get visions or something? Because your descriptions are just so visceral. I like, you freak me out a little bit. I mean, you're a good dude, but
oh, you think I'm a good dude? Huh.
I mean,
you want to go get coffee or, you know?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, let's do this. I'll pat you on the back. Let's go get some cookies and coffee. It's a good breakfast.
So you guys hike back up the back stairs into the house, and there's already a silver tray with a pot of coffee and a selection of like morning like biscotti, you know, like just arrayed on the tray, and it's sitting right there along with like a small sort of medical kit, just there in case one of you is actually still bleeding a little bit from the finger.
Yeah. He'll wrap gauze around it,
but yeah,
taper it off.
So then from there we can fast forward to the 4 of you all in your private little cabin on the train bound for Liverpool.
Oh, cool. Is this one of those like several hour trips where we have to stare at each other?
Yeah, I mean it's not super long, but it's long enough, right? You're gonna be there for a while. You know, leaving first thing in the morning, you're gonna be there before lunch, right? But it's not, you know, you're not overnighting or something. So it's one of those cabins where it's like the two benches facing each other, right? With the like there's storage bins up top for suitcases and that kind of thing. And there's a sort of sliding compartment door on the side. After you know, throughout the trip, you see occasionally a person will be walking by in the hall. There's a conductor that came by and checked everyone's tickets, and there's restroom facilities, and there's like a dining car where you could go get some tea or coffee, or it's kind of mid morning, so it's not like meal time, but they have the ability for you to like go get some refreshment if you desire, that kind of thing. Is there anything anybody wanted to accomplish on the train before you arrive?
More research.
Okay. So what kind of research are you going to try and do?
Okay, this is, I think if it's available, oh, first of all, newspapers where I can get them. And then I think I'll get anything that's like local to Liverpool is where we're headed.
Yeah.
I'm looking for like any local history books of the area. Stuff that you might, I guess it's, this is one of those times where I'm like, did we have travel guides in 1923?
I'd give you that there's probably some
Expedia.com.
advertisements, right? So there's probably we'll say there's like a newspaper rack that has several London papers and then a couple other papers along this train line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And next to that there's probably a small board with some advertisements for things at various stations or near various stations. If you need a place to stay, the hotel in this town or that town, they have little flyers like with the street address. Please come by. We are traveler friendly. That sort of stuff.
If when do we get paid? We're not gonna get paid to the end of this. Yes.
Well, you did get an advance. You got
excellent.
£100, so that's way plenty for you guys to
so many
make with accommodations or whatnot.
Yeah, the first newsstand, Saoirse has bought one of like every paper, and if she cannot put them on the seat next to her, has them piled up in a little nest for working.
All right. We'll go ahead and do let's do a logic investigation.
Yay.
No, logic learning, I think.
Yay. I can do this. Wait, can I? Let me double check if I have anything in learning. Oh, good. Okay. That's 6 dice. Don't fuck me. Three successes.
Oh, okay. So I'll give you, for one success, I will give you that you have found a hotel that is very reputable and nice. That is not there to try and swindle people or, steal your organs. Things like that.
It's useful. That's good information.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you've absolutely nailed that down. The other two successes from the newspapers, there's actually an account from somebody who seems to be one of the workers at the site, right? And he was talking about how, radio service is delayed. Like that's the little title of the article. Radio service delayed. And then it's some worker that anonymously commented like, yeah, we worked real hard to put up this tower, and then it was destroyed overnight, and someone built the tower out of wood planks, and I don't get it.
If there's any like other details that are there also things like missing babies in the area, or like I don't know, like basically I'm looking for concurrent events that might have happened that would help us narrow that down as well.
I will say that through the article, it talks about the land purchase. and that the land purchase was not bought from like another owner, like a land agent, which is basically like a real estate agent, right? Sold the property to the BBC, but before that, it had just been in the public trust, right? So the city decided to sell off the land to make a little extra cash because they weren't using it. And they thought, oh, well, this is a benefit to the city because we'll get radio, which is all the rage, and we'll make a little money from the company doing it. So it was not like a residence or a home or anything like that before. It was just wild land.
That's almost worse. Excellent.
But,
yeah. Otherwise,
Definitely
I think,
worse.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think if it's a long enough, depending on how long the train ride is, Circe is fully like nested.
Sure. You can build a little fort at the edge of the bench.
Full newspaper fort.
You probably get some glances through the window a few times, like the conductor that walks by is like, "What? Why?"
It's like looks up from a paper.
Who
and
has
goes
all
back
of these
to it.
newspapers? Why? Okay. But yeah, other than that, anybody else have anything they want to try and?
I think along the ride, Sean would be kind of probably staring out the window mostly, looking for like omens or portents of like what's about to happen. So maybe observation?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. If you're, I like it.
Yeah, she's trying to like, read the omens, like, oh no, a veil of hay is next to a sheep. Ah, that's terrible.
Sure.
Birds flying south. Oh no.
Oh god. What are we gonna do? Let's see.
Double check the
empathy.
Dow. Oh god.
Okay. I got 2 successes.
Okay. With your first success, I will give you that as you've gotten out of London proper and you're out in the countryside between cities, you do see a few cases along the way. Like you've passed by there's like a church up on a hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And standing on the roof of the church is the biggest cat you've ever seen, right? It is, I mean, it's kind of like bobcat sized, right? But being as there are not wild great cats in the UK, that's an unusual sized cat for sure. But it's standing up on the roof, and it's clearly like you see bright yellow eyes watch the train go by, right? Almost like, is it an intruder? Do I have to go fight it? That kind of a look. And you're certain that it's a Vaesen, right? It's one of the kind of famous ones, a type.
Okay.
Called the Church Grim. And basically they're bound to the churchyard as a protector. They will fight bad things that come there, or bad people, especially that come there. With your second success, I will say you get, as you are getting near to Liverpool, you feel in the wild space that it's far less beaten down than even the countryside near London, right? There's big stretches of the land there that it's not even like farmland, it's just wild land still. So it's not like you see any particular type of thing, but for sure you can feel the power of the place
Mm-hmm.
as sort of unspoiled landscape. So likely the things that live there could be quite old and powerful.
Okay. Awesome. She like starts to look a little bit more weirdly more comfortable the closer they get to Liverpool. She's like, ah, okay, this I know how to this I know what to do with.
Cool. And basically you're just north of your not really homeland
Yes.
in Liverpool, geographically speaking. I didn't actually look up where the train line runs, but it's possible you even passed through part of Wales to get there. But pulling into the station, it's about 11 a.m. And it's a modern, nice train station because Liverpool's a fairly big town. And there's a bustle of passengers that are looking to get on board again for the train to turn around and head back to London before evening. There's the typical bustle of the train platform where they're offloading trunks of stuff for folks. And by the way, like, how much did you guys pack to bring with you? I should have asked already.
I got a spoon and a fork. That's it.
Okay.
How long are we staying? Are we out?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Oh, we should have planned for that. A small
mean,
amount of
Retroactively, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, you only have 4 changes of clothes and it's day 5, so haha. Like, that's not the game we're playing here.
Anyone who has ever packed ever knows that that's not a thing that's gonna happen. Yeah.
But like, I was just like, if you were planning to bring lots of supplies and things, if you had brought like a trunk with stuff or not.
Yeah,
I mean,
Sean definitely brought a trunk, like for occult supplies and also changes of clothes in case there's a fancy occasion, a casual one, or we have to like go muck about in the woods.
very good.
I feel like Saoirse would have done that. She doesn't have that much as much stuff as Sean does, but like I think she did bring a trunk as well. It is a larger amount of occult supplies and a lesser amount of clothes than Sean's, but the trunk is smaller.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I've just got a duffel or something like that.
I guess I'm wheeling that stuff in.
Well, there are porters that will totally
Nah.
small
Only
amount
one
help.
person is worthy of carrying this stuff, and it's me.
2 carpet bags worth of stuff. I think that's where we're at.
Oh God. Okay.
So you can you guys roll out of this train station, and it's about 3 blocks over to the nice hotel you discovered. If that's where you want to go.
I mean, I don't have any objections if anyone else like if we can afford it.
I mean,
Yeah, they gave us £100 advance, so
yeah,
let's use it.
Excellent. Yeah, I
Like-
think we'll head to the nice hotel.
I'll say that this fancy hotel is probably going to charge you somewhere around £1 a night. Right?
All right. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Well, I don't mind losing a few pounds. Yes. Okay, that's it for me.
Wow.
Thanks everyone.
So you can get to the hotel. They are happy to receive you. The receptionist behind the desk inquires about how many rooms you're looking to get and what the arrangement is.
If I say 4, is Diablo going to freak out?
I'm not gonna freak out. That's just a waste of money. I guess if you guys want to put stuff in the 4th room, but my place will always be under Sean's bed. Don't make it weird.
Certainly don't need to tell that to the clerk.
Yeah.
Behind the desk.
3 rooms then.
Very good. And they get you keys, and they're all adjacent rooms that they've given.
I do like the idea that that question has like the the clerk asks, and it's just a serious pause as they all try to figure
Everybody
it out.
kind of looks around and goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. I don't know. So you've gone for 3. There is a bellhop that comes out to load your things onto a cart and take them to the elevator, and you guys are taken up to the 5th floor and shown into nice rooms. All the rooms, they have a little sitting area and a bed and a fireplace and a window that opens up and gives you a nice view out. You can see back down the block where the train station is. And yeah, the city is bustling around you. But you have secured places that seem very nice and clean and well appointed.
How far are we from the site?
It's probably a few miles outside of town.
Okay. So we need like a carriage or something to take us.
Yeah. Or you could hire a car, but it might get rough. Yeah.
Oh, we got a car? Nah, let's do a car. I'm driving. Can we rent one?
You know what? Sure. I
Do you
actually
even know
don't
how to
know
drive?
It's
I don't
okay.
know the
We're gonna figure it
history
out.
Oh, good.
of when rental cars became a thing.
Of the
Now
taxi.
I'm curious about.
Yeah, rental. What? Oh God, what's the oldest rental?
Right, I have no idea. That's a fascinating
Yeah.
question.
1906. We good.
Okay.
Yes.
Everyone drink every time we are forced to look something up on Wikipedia.
Hey, I lost all my beers in the Twitch channel, so.
Something interesting based on the Wikipedia. So you can really fuck with us if you're listening and you anticipate this, and you can edit fast. But in 1923, John Hertz bought like one of the first rental car companies.
Very good. Very
Ah.
good.
It's real stupid. But actually, in Britain, it started with Godfrey Davis in 1920. So this is like a pretty new thing for us.
Yeah, it probably
It's
is. Yeah.
fun.
There's like one car in Liverpool for rent.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't just hit up a rich dude and be like, "Let's borrow your car."
Oh, we're going
try
for the
that.
honeypot?
Oh,
I mean, so, but if you would like to actually just rent a car, I will absolutely say there is a fledgling rental car business, just down the street near the train station, that has, several, like Model T, cars, and a truck, that you guys could rent.
Model T.
get the truck.
What? Oh my
We're going to the
God.
forest.
Going to a
Now,
build site.
If you take the truck, some people are going to have to ride in the bed of the truck.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
it's
to remind
a 2-seater
you,
up front.
I've never driven before, so if you want to be back there in the truck,
I can drive.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm no stranger to riding in the bed of a truck. I'm sure you'll be fine back there with me, Diablo.
all right.
Excellent.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it.
So-
Actually, I have no idea if there's even a stat for driving.
There is
Close
not.
combat.
Logic
Uh,
agility.
As written,
If you make
I
it, but here's the thing: if you make it logic precision, I can do it.
no, I was gonna say it's gonna be precision agility.
Ah.
I don't have any
Oh.
points in agility. I do have a 3 in precision because
Maybe I should drive.
built her to
Yeah.
shoot.
I mean,
So,
by those stats, I'd be a fair driver, but I'm not
I-
taking
Need
a
to
warm seat.
learn.
I will say that the rental car company is happy to give you a little bit of a tutorial on the operation of the vehicle.
Hmm.
1 second.
Like how to repair it when it breaks down after 20 minutes.
Probably not.
No, but like how to start the vehicle and how to take off the parking brake and the go pedal and the stop pedal. how to reach out the window and squeeze the rubber bulb and make the horn go ooka hookah. Right?
No one tells Diablo we can do that.
No.
So I will give you I will give whoever does decide to drive a +1. Just because you have gotten this short 15-minute tutorial.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a serious question because we trust you as the GM. When we elect who drives, and I assume it will get changed up because, you know, whoever gets in the front seat first. Do you see us having to do some Tokyo Drift style driving?
I don't, but you all are gonna make choices, and if you like drive out of town and like run over a Vaesen's tail, I don't know what's gonna happen, right? Like that's
I vote that Jackie drives.
and again, I'm not gonna
And I
make
think
you
Jackie's
roll
driven
here.
a Jeep during the war.
Okay, that would make sense.
So I'm not gonna make you roll just to make the car go, right? It's only like gonna be in a pressure situation where it's gonna be a thing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not gonna be a, oh look, you failed your roll 10 feet from the rental place and you wrecked the car. Go rent another one. Like
Somebody clip this for when we end up
Yeah.
in car combat.
One thing led to another.
car combat, that I mean, if you make choices that lead to that path, I can't help you, but I'm happy to allow you to drive leisurely out of Liverpool without having to roll dice.
No one challenged the Vaesen to a race.
Right.
That is a completely different Boston that you'll find in America.
Yes.
Look,
Mustang
we have
Sally.
our greatest weapon here, okay? If we meet a Vaesen we can't run over, then we can't beat it.
I was gonna say this is a giant iron machine that we can just hit areas with.
Just mowing down Vaesens left
Oh
and
yeah,
right.
we're definitely announcing our approach in a giant noisy iron machine.
Mhm.
Slow pickup.
Yeah.
Forget
yeah.
nature.
Mm.
I mean,
I'm
I
into
can ride a
this.
horse if y'all want to. If the car ain't doing it for you.
No, the car is fine.
Yeah, the
Oh,
car's
alright.
good. The car's
So-
our greatest asset right now. It's carrying the team.
I
Sure.
think we're gonna want to park it a bit away from the site, though. We might offend whatever's there with this bit of machinery, and then come back and it's all made out of wood, and then we've lost our deposit.
Right.
Ability.
But if we could still drive it back, that would be an oddity worth something.
Oh, if it's still functioning made out of wood, they might give us more money.
Right.
Don't know that they want us messing with their cars. Let's go.
So, who just for sake of argument, who is driving the car and who's in the bed of the car?
John's got shotgun.
I'll drive.
I'll be in the bed.
All right.
All right.
Diablo and me will be in the back.
So you guys start driving out of town. As you get past sort of the downtown area towards the direction that you know where you're supposed to head, you actually see the tower on this hill. Sort of, you have to cross a little bridge to get over a river, because you're just up from the actual port, right? And you're driving up into some low hills on the other side of the river that hasn't really been developed yet. And you get up to a place where there's a sort of classic low stone wall, right? With a wooden gate in it. And the wooden gate is open. And then up the hill a little farther, you see there's two like big, as the British would say, lorries, right? Big transport trucks that are parked up near the structure. There's a little building up there, and you see a trench running up from the bottom of the hill, and you see this tower that is about half disassembled at this point, but is sitting there. And you see
We
some
should-
workers up there working.
When we get there, we should definitely check what kind of wood they used. Something
Yes.
I realized we didn't check.
Check
before.
in with the father of those children we met the other day, Tornado.
Yep. You
What?
could assume he's up there.
Right. We can check in on him.
Mm-hmm.
What
You,
what did you
met
do?
who?
Oh, Erickson? Was that his name?
Uh,
Yeah, I believe
Eckersley.
so.
Eckersley.
Eckersley.
Eckersley. That's it. Well, we went over to talk to his wife and just see if she knew anything. And
The marriage seemed rock solid.
yeah, they seem fine. Diablo had some strange questions, but I think it was okay. I don't think we upset her too much.
All right. I feel like the less questions asked.
Hey, Diablo, what was the name of their neighbor?
Oh,
You got
crap.
it right.
What was it?
We had a whole train ride to have this conversation.
I think we're in the
I like
back
how
of
you
the
guys
truck.
never brought it
Yeah,
up.
you are.
Yeah. You're like yelling through the
We're
window.
yelling through the open window.
Yeah.
I do remember out of character that you guys did not get the old guy's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
I just
an old.
I figured Diablo got it.
I think
No,
it was Jenkins
he was
or
just the-
something.
Old man neighbor.
Old man
Well-
Jenkins' neighbor.
We
Mm,
can ask
all right.
Eckersley when we get to the site
Yeah,
if we see
I
him.
mean-
That's right. He'd know.
To be honest, all like UK names sound alike to me, so I don't. It's all thrown in
I look at
together.
Sean.
You and me both.
Rude. Just shuts
So
the window.
Oh, except
So
for you,
Sean
Sean.
exchange glances.
Oh my god.
Sarsha, I think we should park down at the bottom of the hill. I want to get a look at this trench before we trek up there.
Actually, can we stop at the low wall? Not even get like a decent way out. Not even where the lorries are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can stop outside that gate if you want. That's up to
Yeah.
you.
We stop around there.
It's probably, I don't know, 250 yards up the little hill to get to where the building and
Okay.
the tower are. So it's not crazy far,
yeah.
but
Yeah, no, it's not worth trying. Like if we're trying to be
Respectful.
so you guys park the truck just outside that gate along the wall and pile out. And you said you wanted to go look at the trench first, or
Yeah, because you said the trench is kind of running up the hill to where the tower is, right?
yeah.
We
Yeah,
could do
or-
this.
If
could
we're
do
already
this in
parked down
teams.
here. That's true.
Yeah, we could split up. Me and Tornado make a good team. We could go over and talk to the husband, since we have that background with his family.
Yes, definitely get the name of that neighbor.
You got it.
Right.
We'll make sure we won't leave unless we have that name.
And
Let's do this,
find-
Tornado.
find out what wood is being used on the tower, and we'll go look at the trench.
Yeah.
Sure.
Godspeed.
So fucking worried about leaving you guys alone with them again.
Yeah, we'll see. So let's start with walking over to the trench because they have a little farther to go to get up the hill. So you guys, are you gonna walk over to the trench outside the wall, or are you gonna go in the gate and walk over?
I think in the gate. Yeah.
That's
We're not
totally
afraid to go
cool.
in the gate. I just don't want the truck inside the gate because it's machinery and whoever's here doesn't like that.
I suppose we should let them know we're coming, but I figure Diablo and Jackie will handle that, right?
Yeah,
Right?
we're pretty good heralds of impending weirdness.
Well, they'll definitely make an entrance. That's for sure.
All right. Yeah, so let's do that.
So you they start hiking up the hill, and you guys walk over to where the trench runs up, and it looks like the trench comes along a line that they would be running like electrical power up the hill to this building and the attached tower. You get over there, and it's about 3 feet deep. And down in the bottom, there's some thick, like a clay sort of a pipe that you can see.
Mm.
It looks new, right? Like that's clearly what was put down in the bottom. And it makes sense because you don't just want to put like actual electrical lines in the dirt, right? They run it up
Sure.
through this pipe.
So I think Sean is definitely less interested in the pipe itself and more in the trench. Like, are there any like bits of artifacts or bones or things that look like they've been disturbed when this part was dug up?
Sure. So,
Yeah.
well, that is absolutely a logic investigation.
Okay. I should have put more points in that.
And if you guys want to work
Can I
together, one of you
help?
can give the other person an extra die. Yeah.
So we could do my once a game thing here, or we could do it later,
Oh, yeah.
because that is also a logic. I mean, it means I get to use empathy for that role. Let me double check where that is in the actual thing. Do-do-do.
But there's
Oh,
a
yeah,
chance stuff can go real wrong with that power. So.
Yeah, I like using it
Yeah.
though. I want things to go wrong.
I understand. I'm just being very
Okay.
clear.
Can I actually just help? And I'll do the regular, like, I'll just keep looking with her, but also I'm gonna take some deep breaths.
Yeah, you can totally, like, the help thing is just an automatic. Like, if you say you're going to
Okay.
help do something, it's just +1 to her roll.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Saoirse just also like sniff around the site.
So,
Okay. Cool. So that gives me an extra die. Awesome. We'll use that one and this one for a little luck of the Irish. One success.
okay. So most of the dirt around the thing looks pretty normal, right? You certainly don't see any like artifacty things, right?
Okay.
And you don't see any evidence that like they dug through a burial mound, or like you're not seeing anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is one spot where the trench gets, instead of just being like 2 feet wide, it's like there was a bigger dig there that went maybe 5 or 6 foot around
Okay.
in a circle. But the pipe just kind of continues through that bit. And the dirt in the bottom of that looks more loose. Like it was maybe dug a little deeper and then dirt was filled back in underneath where the pipe went.
Okay.
But the rest of the way up the hill, it's just a normal trench.
Can I get it, like, how deep it, like, can I climb into that section and sort of dig a little bit just to see if I can
Yeah.
feel something buried in there?
Absolutely, you could.
Just loosely. I'm not like fully like trying to dig, but like definitely shuffling the dirt around.
Yeah. So you kind of hop down in the trench, and like I said, it's about 3 foot deep, so it's not like hard to climb into.
Mhm.
And that area is being wider, it's much easier to actually get into. So you get down in it, and you can start kind of pawing at the dirt a little bit, and you get down maybe another 1.5 feet deeper than the level of where you see the dirt in the rest of the trench, and that's where you get to like hard packed dirt, right? That doesn't look like it's been recently disturbed.
Mhm.
So whatever was buried, you don't feel anything, you don't notice anything, but whatever might have been here would have been about 4.5 foot down instead of just maybe 3 feet.
That could be anything.
Mm.
Likely a stone.
So it looks
That's
like the
also
workers
possible.
removed something
Yeah.
from here.
They've removed something. Yeah, and then otherwise just no signs. No, but it's just like it dirt, nothing else there. Excellent.
Yep.
I'll clamber out of the trench.
Cool. So you're
Immediately dirty.
out, and you guys keep following the trench up the hill, right? To keep an eye on the rest of it, and then we'll
Mhm.
join with Jackie and Diablo that have reached the top of the hill. And there's a couple of workers that like saw you coming up and are like, Hmm. And a couple of them, like one of them points and the other guy looks down the hill, and then he kind of goes around the back of the building. So by the time you come up, there's a man. He's wearing a pair of glasses and he's not dirty. So it's safe to assume that he's probably not one of the laborers that have been working in this kind of thick, rich earth. Um, and he comes around the corner and kind of gives you a wave like, "Hello, what can we do for you?"
Jackie, you want to give
Howdy,
him a
sir.
warm? There you go. Be
Howdy,
warm,
sir. Sorry to bother you. We're actually here to look into a few things. We were hired by the station. I'm sorry. I think we're supposed to be meeting Mr. Eckerson.
Oh yes, Eckersley. That's me. Yes.
Eckersley. That's right. That's you.
No.
That's you. Oh well.
Yeah.
I
You
did-
remember
I did
seeing
hear
his
that-
photo.
I did hear that some consultants were going to come and help take a look at what seemed to be delaying us here.
Your wife and children send their regards, by the way. We saw them the
Oh.
other night.
Oh, that's nice. And he like, well, thank
It-
you. I hope they were well. My phone call with them isn't until Friday.
We ended up stuck in town an extra night, so we figured maybe we get a little extra information. We stopped by. It was nothing big.
Oh, very good.
I actually, you know what? I do have a question before I forget. When we were conversing, your wife mentioned the neighbor who hated your radio, but I forgot to get his name. What was that fella's name?
Oh, you're talking about old man Burton.
Old man Burton.
Yes.
Good name,
His first name was Ronald.
Ronald Burton. All right. Well, thank you.
I can guarantee he has not been here.
No. It was just something that came up, and I realized I didn't fill out that piece of my ledger, so got it done. Why don't you give us a look around? Tell us what you've seen, what's happened. I mean, you were here. We just got the tail from the other end, right?
Yes. Well, as you can see, and he points at the tower, that's all of these rough-hewn logs that are lashed in place, right? So it's like leather, little leather thong, right, tied on at each of the points, lashing these beams together to make it look like, that standard steel broadcasty tower. And there's some guys that are like have climbed up it that are cutting the lashings away and then lowering down a branch and stuff, and they're actively disassembling the thing. He's like, well, that right there is the sort of primary issue. We had the tower just about completed. We went down the hill to sleep for the night in town and have some dinner, and by the time we got back the next morning, there you go.
And it was this new wooden version, was it exactly the same, like unfinished in the same places that the old one was unfinished? Or had it been completed to what you expected it to be when you were done with your steel tower?
No, it looked exactly as we left the other one the night before.
All right. Now, can you tell me what kind of wood that's made of? Is that local to here?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure one of the guys that are a little more local would know more. The builders.
All right, we can follow up with them after.
Certainly, we can ask them.
Yeah. All right. Do you mind if we get a closer look? See how I'm curious about the craftsmanship, because you said this went up overnight.
Yeah, I agree. It's unusual to say the least. I would assume if it was a bunch of drunken farmers or something, they wouldn't have risked building a 50-foot tower overnight.
Right.
But certainly also doesn't seem like a child's prank. Some
No, it doesn't.
misdirected youths.
What do you think happened here?
I have no idea. We've put up towers like this all over the country at this point. We have 5 stations already going, and this is the first time we've had any trouble.
You're looking forward to that conversation Friday, right?
I'm hopeful that maybe if you all can figure out what's going on here, that I could conceivably be home by next Friday.
What if, this is just hypothetical, of course, so I don't want your imagination to go wild. What if this was the beginning of something far worse than you could ever imagine? Like you've stepped into something that is unfamiliar to you in every right. I'll make you question everything. What happens then?
Well, I certainly hope that you all are prepared to help with that.
I do hope we can help with that. Hopefully it won't come to that, Diablo.
You love your wife? Love your kids?
Yes, very much.
Good. That's going to carry you through the next couple of days. All right, Tornado, let's do this.
All right. Okay.
So right about then, that's when you guys get up the hill from the trench. So you join the conversation as the guy kind of looks a little worried, but he's like, okay, there's professionals here. You got this under control.
Yeah. It's Diablo.
Very good.
Does he have any like religious paraphernalia on him, like a cross or I don't know, a Jedi icon?
No, not that you can see. As you guys all kind of unite, and he introduces himself to everyone, as new people have joined the circle of discussion. But one of the laborers over by one of the trucks, he kind of like he was like messing with a toolbox, and he got it out and he sets it on the ground, and then he was like, huh? And like you see him bend over and he opens the toolbox, and a bunch of water kind of splashes out, and then continue like splashing is happening out of the top of this toolbox. And he's like, he kind of steps back like, what the hell? And you see another guy come over and look in there, and he's like, what? And he kind of like tries to get Eckersley's attention to wave him over, and he turns, he goes, excuse me a second. He walks over and looks down in this toolbox that's still kind of frantically splish splashing, and the one worker reaches in and he pulls out just a fish, like he's holding a fish in his hand, and he's looking at the fish. He looks down at the toolbox and he goes, I don't know. And they're all kind of like, and Eckersley looks back at you all like, there's a fish.
Yeah, Sean is on her way over there. Like,
Yeah.
right then, let's look at the fish.
Oh.
So as you approach, Saoirse, why don't you give me a physique roll, please?
I don't have points in that. I have a 2 in that.
You have to have some.
Saoirse
points.
dies. Saoirse immediately
No, it's
dies.
not. It's not going to be that.
She immediately dies.
That is no successes.
Okay, so you get over near this toolbox and you start getting like the itchy eyes, right?
No.
Like you're just a little
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah.
Immediately starts looking through her various pockets in her coats for a handkerchief, not a pamphlet. There's one in there somewhere.
You can find one, I'm sure.
Yeah. But otherwise it's like, okay, this is happening. But yeah.
And it's not unbearable. It's not
Yeah.
a lot, but it's just enough to be bothersome.
Okay. But yeah, I will I will obviously just point it out to Sean. Just I don't know how to be like Vaesen, but obviously, but also like present.
Okay.
Can I?
Do we know about your? Because we know each
You
other, so
do,
I might
yeah.
know that when you're allergic, that means Vaesen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do, which means Diablo does. I think Jackie's the only one who's like is the newest to the party.
Right.
Okay.
And
Very
he's mostly
confusing.
dealt with like witches and demons and not the fae.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sean, she kind of nods at you and like looks around a little bit to see if I can spot anything nearby.
It's not
Uh,
bad, but it's not bad yet. And
Yeah.
she just like wipes her eyes. It's fine.
Sean,
She's
take
like,
a bite out
"Do
of
you
that
wanna-"
fish. See if it's tastes normal.
I don't think I fancy lunch just now, Diablo, but
from all exterior signs, it is a completely normal fish.
okay. Is it a
Like-
fish local to the area or is it
Yeah.
like a
Are
strange
you an
fish?
expert on fish of the UK?
what do we know about fish?
I mean, we could do
Yeah.
a logic. Everybody could do a logic learning to see if
Yeah,
you
fuck
ever
it.
like read a book about.
Is this fish from
Fish?
here?
Is this a local fish?
Yeah, we're
I'm
happy
gonna roll
to.
because
happy
it's
to-
2 dice.
What accent does this
it's a
fish
shark.
have?
Yes. What do I roll to talk to fish?
I got 0 successes.
You got a
Yeah,
success.
0.
Okay.
You grab
so-
an Aquaman.
I got 3 successes.
You know this fish personally.
Yes.
This fish and I
Jerry?
are best friends.
Is
First
that
of all,
you?
1 gallon per pound of fish. How dare you?
This is an old
Or
friend
per
from
ounce
school.
of fish. Ah. That is an improper container for a pet fish. How dare you? We'll get very upset about
The
it.
saltwater, not a freshwater fish.
So, it is a not huge pike.
Oh,
It is a freshwater carnivorous fish. That the guy is kind of holding behind the head, and it's still flapping around a little bit. They do get much bigger than this, but it is not a huge one. yet.
can we put it back? Just put it back in the toolbox.
I mean,
Actually, while the fish is out of the toolbox, are the tools still in there?
there are no tools in the toolbox.
Put the pike back.
It's just water and what once was
Pike.
the fish.
Yes, put the pike back.
The guy's like,
Um,
all right, and he puts the fish back in, and it as soon as it gets in the water, it starts to try and swim away, but it has nowhere to go. So
Just gonna close that, and I'm gonna go find a bucket later.
Yeah.
okay, so
This
What's-
is mine.
What's your name, lad?
the
Yeah,
worker
the
that
workman.
opened the box.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. His name is William Wilson.
William Wilson. Mr. Wilson, are you the only one that this sort of thing seems to happen to around here, or have the other workers experienced this? Not the fish specifically, but like odd
No,
occurrences.
We've never had any other tools replaced by fish. And then like the worker that's in the back of the truck that like passed the toolbox out, he
Mhm.
like opens another chest and it is also full of water and begins to splash when he opens the lid.
Not gonna lie, I love this.
Amazing. All right, so it's not specific to Mr. Wilson then.
Yeah. Is someone gonna get a campfire going?
No, we are confiscating the fish though.
Well,
And
yeah, I
like
thought we were
he
gonna
goes through
eat
the
it.
rest of the tools in the back of the truck because they hadn't really gotten the tools out yet today because they just were cutting the leather and taking down the wood from the new tower. So like all of the boxes and crates of various tools and sledgehammers and stuff would all be in these boxes. Every single one is water and an assortment of semi-local fish.
That's Amazing.
Well, I
Uh,
think that'll be lunch now, lads.
With your extra successes, some of them are saltwater and saltwater fish, and some of them
Huh.
are freshwater and freshwater fish. So
Is the
there's
toolbox with all the hammers? Did it have a hammerhead shark?
Just a tiny one.
Little
no,
baby.
it's all like standard fish that people around here would fish for, right?
That's that this I hate saying it. It feels like a leprechaun.
It really feels
That's
like
a leprechaun thing. It's funny. It is kind of funny.
No
It
one
is
has ever
funny.
said that word without being without it being in jest.
So,
It's a problem. It's a thing.
you mean like a real leprechaun? Like a, I mean, like how they're depicted, or are they like, I'm not super familiar with leprechauns.
Yeah, Fae folk. The
Little dude, pot of gold,
I'll be just
big
height
fellow likes to
varies.
punch. Like, what are we talking?
Dude who likes a person who likes to punch is closer. They're not
all right.
friend. They're fun. They think they're fun. That's
They
a good
think
way.
they're funny.
They think they're funny.
Gotcha. Like, what a trickster.
Yes.
Okay.
They're, but I don't know why they would. They're.
Well,
you
we
should
did.
have to piss them off.
I mean, removing something from their hill might piss them off.
That's true.
Right.
We need to ask Mr. Eckersley if any of the
Oh,
workers
about the hole.
about the hole.
Yes.
You found a hole?
There's
Yes.
a weird bit in the trench that looks like it used to have something in it.
Oh,
That's why
well.
Sarsha's covered in dirt.
Oh yeah, like Saoirse's now covered in dirt and
it didn't
water.
even register. Or I don't know. Would it
feel
it be
like that's
out
an
of the
insult.
ordinary for Saoirse to be covered in dirt?
She wasn't covered in dirt when she got off the train.
Oh, all right.
Is now covered in dirt.
I guess the jokes make sense. I'm
Well, we need to
trying-
find out what was removed from the hill, I think.
Yes.
Now,
and
is this like a joke or a bribe? Like,
this feels like a joke. That
Okay.
feels like a joke. And she points
Definitely
at
a joke
I'm gonna point the that's a joke.
at the tower.
It's a bad joke.
all right.
But they're generally good people.
It is a bit funny. And Sean will call Mr. Eckersley back over.
He
Mr.
walks back
Eckersley,
over.
we noticed in your trench there's a weird bit that's about dug up a bit more than the rest. Was something removed from that area?
Let's do empathy observation.
Okay.
Can I help?
How are you going to help?
Stare at him real hard.
I feel like between Diablo and Saoirse, it must be a little unsettled.
Okay. I'll
We
give
made
a
him feel
bonus
a
one
little
for that.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. If you just give him like the 1,000-yard stare. Sure.
So she's just covered in dirt and mud basically at this point.
That'll give a +1. I'd go for that.
I rolled too many dice. I had 7 dice and I got 0 successes.
Well, that ain't good.
Okay. So he says, no, just when you're trenching, sometimes you have to dig around roots and rocks and stuff like that.
Rocks, like large rocks.
Just anywhere you did. Like, he points down at the stone wall. He's like, where do you think all those came from? Like, somebody just got them out of the fields and made a wall.
Well, sometimes it matters what rocks you move.
I don't think it was anything special.
Well,
that's the problem.
yeah, let's roll it.
You probably wouldn't.
Let's roll it back real here so that you understand. All right, leprechauns, tricksters, right?
Leprechauns?
Oh no.
Like,
Something fearful in the night. And if you love your wife and kids,
You're going to answer their questions honestly. Because what these things can do to your family will make World War One look like a walk in the park.
Are you saying that a leprechaun is threatening my family? Because we dug up some rocks when we made a trench?
Not entirely out of
No.
the possibilities.
Damn it.
There goes all credibility.
I'm not saying.
Alright.
Hold on. I want to pause here for a second, and I want to point out that Diablo is pointing out a worst case scenario, because I know that you are a man of reason and you want this job to be done, and so you don't need to know how we solve the problem. You just need it solved. So what you're going to do is you're going to tell us exactly what came out the hole. You're going to point it out for us, and we're going to look at it, and we're going to tell you, oh, yep, it's just a rock. Then all your workers are going to leave. We're going to solve whatever problem happened, and then you can come back and build your tower. Does that sound okay?
He said a lot of things in American.
That I suppose. And he kind of,
unless you have another explanation for why a bunch of fish just appeared in your
no, I'm assuming we didn't anger a local fisherman that decided to cart water up here to put in toolboxes with live fish. That's not normal. I understand that things are a little unusual, and John said when we spoke on the phone that you were experts at unusual, but my concern is more that you think whatever's happening here is going to hurt my family all the way back down in London.
I don't
There's
think
no
you have
reason.
Go ahead.
As long as we're talking about leprechauns, it shouldn't be a problem. It's just and I just look back at Jack like, I don't know how to proceed from here.
Sir,
I mean, I got this if y'all want.
You have my word that we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that nothing like that comes to pass.
Well, all right. And he's like, let me talk to the guys and see who might have dug something unusual up out of the trench.
Sure.
And he kind of goes over and talks. They're all standing around, like, looking at the toolboxes suspiciously, and a couple of the guys have now climbed down the tower to, like, and they're going over and, like, opening a box and looking inside just to be like, oh, you're messing with me. But he gets over and they all kind of talk, and then he turns around and comes back over and he goes, well, they really only encountered a few, like, large rocks and one tree stump that they had to pull. But that's all they said. The
tree
only
stump.
other thing is that one of the workers that was up here before, he hasn't been back. I don't.
You've got a missing man.
So it
It's not a
begins.
missing man. Like, I hire most of these laborers daily. You know, they just men
How
from
tall
town.
was
that
he?
need- How tall was he?
Yes.
I average height, 5'9",
All right.
probably.
What was his name?
His name was George Lewis.
George Lewis. And he's from the town, yeah?
Yeah. I didn't bring any laborers with me from London for the project. They're all local hires.
We'll need to see the tree stump as well.
Sure. I'm sure we can see where we dragged it.
Did we find out what kind of wood the tower was made of?
Nope.
He said he was gonna maybe ask the workers.
He was like, I'll go ask that as well, and he kind of turns and
last question about the tower.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
latched together with leather, correct? It's not hammered together.
No, it is leather.
So it is tied together. It's not
Yes.
built.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn it, that could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, little tools. Maybe tiny nails.
That's a thought.
All right.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Okay. Let him ask about the wood.
so he goes over and talks to them again, and one guy, he kind of points down the hill the other direction, and then another guy's like, clearly the one guy that he starts talking to slips into the carpenter that's too excited to tell you about all the wood, right? Mode, like that guy that's just, and he just starts droning on. Like you can even hear the tone change in this conversation. Like, well, that's right there. You've got your old, you know, and apparently it is mostly made of blackthorn.
Okay.
That could be anything.
It is a local tree, however. It is not unusual to find blackthorn trees here.
Okay. I think seeing how excited that guy is about trees and whatnot, Sean is gonna ask him to come with us to look at the tree stump.
Sure. And then he, you know, he's happy to, he's like, now, the unusual thing about all this blackthorn is these are fairly straight pieces, and blackthorn, to find enough straight pieces big enough to do this, that's a lot of work. As he kind of
Okay.
hikes down the hill to where they pointed. And you get down there, and there's it's just an old, mostly rotted stump. Like the tree that was here looks like it broke off maybe in a windstorm, something like that. But it
It's
doesn't
all-
look like it was chopped down or cut purposefully. It looks like it broke.
Okay.
And the above ground portion of the tree has since blown away and rotted. The stump is what's left, and it's in the process of rotting away. But it looks like an oak tree stump.
Okay.
So the tower wood is blackthorn, but the tree that was local it's a leprechaun. It's a
No.
fucking leprechaun. No, I have
Blackthorn
logic. There's
trees-
logic here.
Blackthorn trees are also local.
Yes, I know.
It's just the stump is not blackthorn.
You may have stumbled into something on accident then, because it's a very Irish tree.
Well, it's not the same tree as the tower is now made out of, so that doesn't support the ash tree wife suspicion. And I think Will-o'-the-Wisp is right out at this point.
I do not think that they don't. I've never seen anything a will-o'-the-wisp use its hands because it doesn't have them.
They
I
can't
mean,
build
they
anything.
did have one person get led away, right? Someone didn't come back.
Yes, but Faye could steal people all the time.
Right. I guess it
Uh,
doesn't have to be a will of the wisp just because someone went missing.
Yeah.
Point of order on the will-o'-the-wisp. They absolutely can have hands.
Oh, okay. I
It
guess
is
you're
not,
right.
It is not just
Not fairy
Merida
lights,
and the little
just-
tiny dancing lights.
Yeah, my
No,
brain is
it's-
just thinking of
It's
Moss
if I put this in front of my head, do you see the little dude?
yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
I want
He's a
one.
will-o'-the-wisp with his little lantern.
holders. Okay,
Not so
yeah.
much known for their construction skills, though.
That is the
No,
other thing.
that is not a thing usually.
It's like in
Um,
the tree of things that kidnap people. It's like all Fae.
The Fae take and they leave nothing behind.
No, they leave things behind.
Horrible.
Blackthorn is an Irish tree, though. It's local to all of the UK, but it's part of that.
That is true.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know if that was an accident, but that is what that is.
Mm.
And
Never
you were gonna
attribute
show
to
us-
accident what might be malice.
I've done it on accident sometimes where I'm like, oops. Well,
oh, go ahead.
oh no, it's now we're just spitballing.
Well, there was some rocks or something that was taken out. You're going to show us?
And like, it's kind of all down here. Like they probably loaded up stuff in the back of a truck and just drove it to the other side of the property and dumped it. There's several, hunks of standard local rocks.
So my understanding is that when normal people see Vaesen or encounter them, they sort of like justify it away, right? Like they don't,
or they just might not see them at all.
Right.
Like,
so I'm going to look through the rocks for anything that looks to us like it's not a rock.
Cool. All right.
Pot
why
of gold
don't you
shaped,
do?
maybe?
Why don't you do logic investigation?
All right.
Because you're looking for clues in this pile of stuff.
Real good at this. All right. Well, hey, what's this over here? I got 1 success.
Okay. So you find a rock, and it's mostly smooth, but one side of the rock is perfectly flat. Like, in a way that it would not naturally have formed, right? Like, it looks like something made it flat on one side. And it's fairly big. It's maybe about 2 foot, sort of a 2 foot oval, right? Of kind of a granite sort of consistency. Not being an expert in geology, it looks something like that, right? But yeah, it's just one side is sort of rounded, natural looking, and the other side looks very purposely flat.
Say, Sean. This looks a little out of the ordinary. You see anything I don't see?
I'll take a look at it, see if I can see something more. I mean, based on like her knowledge of occult items and whatnot.
So that could be logic learning.
Okay. We'll give it a try. I got 1 success.
Okay. So you kind of run your hand along the flat side of it, and you find that there's actually a couple little spots where it looks like something was there, but is no longer there. Like, almost like something sat there for a long time.
Okay.
But isn't there anymore. Like sort of a little rectangular shape. And then another smaller squarish shape on a little farther down the stone.
Okay. Would it be a leap to assume that this had been some sort of altar, like a rock in the woods that people put things on that stay there for a long time? Feels like that to me.
It does have meaning because it is quite old, like very old. But it doesn't feel religious-y.
Okay.
To you. It feels like a craftsman took a lot of time to make this flatness.
Okay.
And so it has that care to it, right? Like when you pick up a well-made object, you're like, oh, this is someone dedicated a lot of time into this. It's that sort of feeling rather than like some kind of offerings or something.
Right. So maybe something more functional. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll show it to Jackie and say, "Well, see here, these indentations. Something was clearly here for a long time, and this wouldn't have flattened out by itself, So this was a made object. It doesn't seem to have any spiritual significance per se, but something useful maybe."
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's somewhere to start.
Maybe this was
Was
its
it-
house.
Yeah, I mean, this could have been like like Diablo said, this was its home. I guess if it's not an altar, we don't have to worry about people that were coming up here to leave offerings or anything.
No, I don't
Oh.
think so.
I almost
We
forgot
could
to mention
still-
one thing. As you came down this side of the hill, you see that there is a small herd of some kind of cows.
I
that
say
are just
cows.
kind of grazing
That's
down
suspicious.
the hill. A little.
Cows.
No, they're
Yep.
just cows.
Yep.
Like
Cows are always up to something.
You have to announce the presence of cows when you pass.
Yeah.
Though. That's the rule.
and that was my
cow.
mistake.
That
I
got
didn't-
real tiring when
you-
I was a kid. Cows were around all the time, and
Can I go wander off after the cows?
Oh, and
Yeah.
we lost them for the rest of the session. It was good playing with you.
I mean, they're not that far, are they?
No, they're like 100 yards.
Yeah, I think while Jackie and Shion are looking at the rock, Saoirse, who's like just rubbing her, she looks a little high at this point because she's been rubbing her eyes, wanders off after the cows. Cows.
If we're done looking at the rock, Sean looks for Saoirse, expecting you to be right there, and then sees you're off with the cows. She goes, Saoirse, I need you to come and smell this tree stump.
There's it. I don't know what you want. And she points at her eyes. Cows. And she goes back to following the cows.
Okay.
They're cute.
As you approach the cows, you see that they are almost all white. If that makes them stand out to you at all. They have a black nose, but they're mostly white.
They're very cute.
They're also not very large.
Hey,
In
try
terms
to
of
milk it while you're over there, real
They're
quick.
not-
Nope.
I mean-
Turns around while turning around to walk the
they're-
other way.
Well, hold on. Like they're not unusually small. Just like in terms of like in the grand scale of cows, they're not one of the huge hulking variety of cow, right? They're not 2,500 pound animals. They're
This is we're weirdly building a weird backstory for Saoirse at this point because like I know enough about fish now. Can I roll logic to see if I can identify the cows?
yes.
Cows killed her family.
I will give you a
Yes,
plus
the
one.
cow.
I will give you a plus one on this roll because you said that you pulled a pamphlet out of your
Oh
coat
shit!
about cattle in
Yes,
the
you
first
did.
episode.
Indeed.
Oh my god, my magic pamphlets. I'm a magic coat. What is the roll for this that you'll give me?
Well, this would probably be logic learning because
Okay.
it's drawing on your knowledge.
Yeah, no logic. This character is apparently just built for investigation, and that's it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
somebody's got to be.
Yeah, don't worry. We're gonna get in a tussle, and she's just gonna down. Okay. Remember how I rolled 7 dice? One
Madness.
success.
Okay.
Definitely
well-
a cow.
One success will tell you that these are a rare breed of cow that is not common anymore. That are called Vaynol cattle. Vaynol. And they are certainly not really commercially farmed, right? They're not raised in large herds for any use. The ones that you see here, like the biggest one is maybe 850 pounds of cow, which makes them less useful for meat production. Yeah, they're just down there.
They're really cute, though. I just looked up what they look like.
They are cute. They are absolutely a cute cow.
I need to see this cow.
Yeah, I think Saoirse, God, let's be dumb. Yeah, she's just going to, I guess she's like petting one of the cows and turns around to like the workers. Whose cows are these?
Um,
I'm gonna die.
they have no branding or tags or anything on any of them. But why don't you make a
I'm gonna
physique
die.
roll?
Oh
I get
boy.
nuked. Just straight physique, nothing else.
Just straight physique, yeah.
You
Can I
getting bowled
use?
over by a cow?
I'm gonna get murdered. Is there any chance I could use empathy?
No, you cannot in this case.
One success.
Okay.
I rolled a 6 and a 1.
So you're totally all right.
Oh my god.
But yeah, the cow, like, it seems to be not scared of you in particular. But they don't appear to have any markings or anything that identify them as anyone's cows. And they're on this land that's just open land, right? Like there's no pen or there's the wall along the road where you guys pulled up, but aside from that, you don't see any walls in any direction for quite a distance.
I'm gonna do a stupid thing because I like to do that. I mean, it's not that stupid, but I think if they're far enough away from like all the things that are happening there, I think Saoirse's just gonna look around and go, okay, if this is a leprechaun, I'm very sorry about this. And she gesticulates wildly at the tower.
Everything around. Okay.
But it keeps happening, so we have to come to an agreement. How does that sound? And she's saying this fairly loud because again, you're just talking to the air. But yeah.
Sure.
They're lovely cows, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, turning to Sean.
Does this happen a lot? Should we be concerned?
We're
Oh,
like
it's
this
fine.
close to using automatic writing.
Yeah. So why don't you roll
Parlay.
manipulation, empathy manipulation?
I had points in manipulation and then I removed them because reasons. So just a flat empathy roll, which is not bad.
I want to help, but it wouldn't make any sense to like run over there and be like, I'm a boxer.
Cows are like, oh yeah, we've seen you on TV. Let's do this.
Oh, that's one success.
One success. Okay.
I lost one on the table.
I will say that from where you're standing, the cows, you know, like you were kind of petting one on the side of the face and it was friendly enough, right? But they all sort of turn and start walking farther away. Like farther away from the tower and everything else that's going on, and farther from you.
Now I will at least try to get everyone else to pay attention to the cows.
Yeah, that's what you see.
Cows. They're
Do
leaving.
So
Do you
the
want-
cows just start leaving?
you want us
Yeah.
to follow the cows?
Maybe.
All right.
Okay.
We'll
Sure.
follow the cow. Sean will start following the cows at a respectful distance.
Okay.
This
guys
is how
start-
you get kidnapped by Faye. Full stop.
Yeah,
See,
you guys start trudging
I
across
told you we
the
should have
field.
brought a horse.
Are
Can
you
you-
all gonna trudge after the cow herd? And it's by herd, I don't mean like 1,000 of them, right? There's like 10, right?
I guess we're following these cows.
I like
I'm just
rifle through
asking.
my
Like,
pockets.
I'm not trying to force anyone to do that, but if someone's not following the cows, I'd like to know. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we're Sean. If Sean's following the cow, then I gotta follow Sean.
I mean, I stayed here so I didn't have to wrestle cattle, but sure, I'll follow.
Well, then you're the best suited for the cows. They're very
And-
small.
The cows aren't running. It's not like they're like stampeding away or anything. It's just they're cow walking, right? Like They're just
Do
done
they-
with your human stuff for the day, and they want to go.
Do
be
they look
cows.
like tricksy cows? Do they have like that look like, I'm about to mess someone up? Like, those type of cows?
Do
I
cows
don't.
get that look?
They
They-
get that look. It's
None
like-
of them look like the kind of cow that would need a rodeo clown. I guess I should put it that way, right? Like, none of them
Fair.
seem particularly
No bulls?
ornery. There's one or two bulls in the herd. And then there's some young cows of varying gender, but like none of them are acting in any way ornery, or none of them are looking back and giving you like the big side eye look. They just are all kind of marching away. And not by marching, I don't mean in an organized. They're just walking cows,
They're cow.
right?
This is
Not
where
just
the campaign
cows.
goes. We become cow herders.
No,
I love it how
following
many-
cattle.
Just cows.
They're just cows, guys. No, cows.
Nope,
no.
we're gonna. Yep, we's gonna
So
follow
you
these
guys
cows.
are following the cows. That's great. No worries.
Do they look like they're going towards something, or is it just like a big empty field and they're wandering?
They're kind of heading. Mainly, it looks like they're just heading away from where you all and the construction area is, right?
Okay.
And they're kind of heading down the hill, and at the bottom of the hill, there's sort of a creek, right? And some trees around the creek and brush, natural looking brush sort of around the creek where the vegetation is a little thicker, and in the sort of protected bit where the creek is sort of carved a little valley, right? So the bushes
Mhm.
down there aren't subjected to the wind quite as much. So
I'm gonna move around, like as we're just following the cows. I'm gonna move to like their sides and make sure that we're not accidentally leading the cows this way by following them and then assuming they know where they're going. So I'm gonna see if they change course if I do.
oh, I see. So you're gonna like walk real close to them and see if they'll go away from you?
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Is that
like
what you-
move along the side of them and see if they try to move that way away from me, or like see if we're pushing them that way or if they're going where they want to go.
You should make a show of dominance.
Uh,
Like
I'm
head
not
of the
gonna do that to
cows.
these
I
strange
usually-
cows.
Disapprove.
I usually disagree with Diablo, but you should try to steal a cow.
You want me to steal a cow?
It may be the fastest way to get from point A to point B.
I
Wait,
don't
you
think we
wanna
should
ride
steal
the
a cow.
No. If and I like sort of start falling behind in case someone's listening. If they think we're going to take one of their cows, they might get mad and come out.
And if they get mad,
Oh,
they might
not
do
the
a violence.
Well, I'm prepared for a violence. I don't
we will-
know how
And we'll tell them it was a prank, and then we'll discuss it.
I didn't bring a lasso.
Do you,
You just want me to run up and grab one of those calves? Like what?
You're American? I sort of assumed you just knew.
I mean, I've been on a farm, but it's been a long time since I've tried to catch a calf.
What if you just hit one of them? in
I'm
the
not gonna
butt?
assault a cow.
No, not punch. Just like a horse.
Mongo? Like just walk up and punch
You
it in
want me
the
to
face.
slap it on the ass? Hope it goes faster.
Yes.
That's a good way to get attacked by a cow.
And possibly a leprechaun.
All right.
Okay.
I'm full of good ideas.
So the final outcome of this plan is
Oh, get the if it's a leprechaun, whoever owns the cow either thinks we're trying to steal the cow and therefore comes out and yells at us, or that's it. That's what I got.
Or
Foolproof plan.
I mean
we could leave the cows alone and go and look for the missing worker.
right.
But cows.
I'm just okay. So do we have any ideas on how to upset a leprechaun without stealing his cow?
Move into his land.
We could put
Okay, well-
some
They already
religious
did that.
items on his land. They hate that.
All right, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Put a little cross up on his face. That would at least probably keep him from the tower and they could finish.
All right. I mean, I can fashion a cross.
Oh,
Any
there's
sort of
definitely
religion?
one in my bag. There's definitely ones in my bag. I don't know if there's ones I have them in my travel, but like
Yeah.
there's
I'll
definitely
start-
some at the
Hell,
hotel.
we can go get a couple pieces of iron and lash them into a cross shape, stick it in the ground, see if he shows up to get rid of it.
Because I'm gonna say that because I thought that this was just going to be a, like, let's talk to the foreman. I did not bring any like a ton of monster hunting gear because that would be insane.
Yeah,
I
I,
got
feel
my
like
knuckle dust,
Sean
it's
is
in
the
my
same.
pocket.
This is recon, so she's got a couple things in various pockets, but not the full kit.
I keep a cross on me. I don't know that I keep two. I'd rather not get rid of the first one. It shouldn't take that long to go get things and bring them back. And there's iron and horseshoes and things we can put up around the tower. What was the tower made of before it was made of wood?
Steel.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that's what I got.
I'll put some of my religious items down.
I don't know that I want to know what your religious items are.
It's okay, don't ask.
So you're just gonna set them on the ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna whisper a prayer to each of them.
Is it a recognizable religion that you're like you're using? I'm just curious.
It's mostly like to the death angels and to the deepest dark things that wiggle and squirm.
That's for a later game. All right. I'm a little, hold on, wait. There is a list.
You probably get like a Mary and Joseph.
Yeah, you hear muttered Catholic disapproval, but not much else.
Catholic
One
and
second.
Protestant disapproval from
Where is it? It has like a little. I'm looking for the thing that says like, "Hey, your equipment," because I think. By the way, I get a dog.
What?
You get a
You
dog?
have a dog?
That's not
Yeah!
fair. What is this?
It says under resources or equipment for the writers. One of them is pet dog or book collection. I want a dog.
Little Yorkie?
Maybe later. Can I have a
Yeah.
cow?
Since we have you cannot. One of the cows does not suddenly turn around and go,
No.
"Oh, you're supposed to have a pet."
If I can have a pet, I'll get a pet.
Well, you could absolutely get yourself a little dog or a dog of whatever type. That's fine, but you didn't specify that you have a particular dog you brought with you on this trip.
I did not bring a dog with me.
So
could it be a
that's fine.
Chihuahua?
No, it's gonna be an Irish Wolfhound because they're fucking huge and I love them.
Oh shit.
It's a
Serious
riding
dog.
dog. Yeah, but no, that's insane to have brought that on with us. Although
So you have Oberon.
You have not
just have a big
produced a
pull dog out of
a
carpet
dog.
bag.
Yeah.
No, I was looking because I wanted to see if under equipment I just have the writing utensils and paper. Although I must have a religious pamphlet in my coat.
I'm sure you could produce one. Yeah.
Yeah, I will pull out like a wee Bible.
Aw.
Oh,
Were
that'll
the what are those Bibles that are in all the hotels? Were they there yet, or is that later?
I think that came with Mormonism.
No, I think they're not there, especially in the UK.
Mm.
I don't believe they are as popular. That I think became more of a thing with like American motor hotel culture first.
Yeehaw. I'm just waiting for someone to wiki it.
I was looking at dogs.
Oh, and see, we lost you.
You've lost me. List of just I'm wondering now if there's like a list of fictional good boys.
Oberon is the best boy.
No,
Yeah.
Mouse is best boy.
Oh, okay. Mouse and Oberon are pretty good. They're
Mouse
pretty
and
on par.
Oberon. Yeah, I'll vote for Oberon for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
He
will
started a religion.
we will adopt a dog in game at some point, I'm sure.
I mean, we're
I
adopting
haven't-
cows.
And
so-
fish.
God.
Are you
So-
trying to
Toolbox
take the
is full
pike
of
with
fish.
you? Okay.
Hey,
So you
but
have
bef-
produced. Hold on. Let's get back on track here. You
got
know what?
distracted.
You know what? You know what? You have produced a religious pamphlet. Are you just planning to leave it on the ground near where Diablo set his stuff, or
I was gonna leave it by the site with the tower and such, like nail it
Okay.
to the tower so that it's there when something comes to mess with it, because that would be more preventative. If I'm
very good?
gonna try to reverse my allergies, I would rub it on a leprechaun.
Well, yes. I mean, you have not laid eyes upon a leprechaun yet to
Precisely.
assault with a pamphlet. So, you can absolutely go up and nail it to the thing, and then you guys want to head back into town and gather some equipment to come back. Is that the plan?
I think so. At least to pick up the dog.
I think
Gonna have
The dog is when you
Sean?
get back to London.
Yes.
yeah,
Unless we find a dog on this trip, in which case I will adopt a dog in the course of this game.
True.
But I will leave this game with a pet.
I think we could get our
That is a threat.
some equipment and then ask about the missing worker back in town before we come back, preferably at night, because that seems like the best time to catch a leprechaun.
All right. That
I
that
got
sounds
nothing
good.
from just yelling at the air around the cows, correct?
I mean, you yelled at the air, and that's when the cows decided to start walking.
I may have scared the cows. Okay, let's go.
I mean, to be fair, they did not act like frightened animals.
That's
Right?
true.
It's
yeah,
not like
we
you
should
were
be
like
suspicious
"Ah!"
of these
and then-
cows. Are they
They didn't-
heading somewhere? Do we see something like on the horizon?
No, it looks like they're still kind of heading down to the bottom of the hill in this sort of creek and down there.
As we're leaving, trying to think of what we. As we're leaving, I guess to just do yes, we'll go back and we should go back and count our money and then just like walk out, like start leaving.
What was
That's-
that? Okay.
I don't know, honestly.
So- I think this is a great spot for us to take our little 5-minute break before you get back to town and choose the next course of action, or before you
Something
decide to
cow-related.
try and kidnap cows. Whatever you're gonna do next can happen next. But for those of you watching live, we'll be taking a little 5-minute break. For those of you that are listening to the podcast, it hopefully will be almost instantaneous that we'll be back. So we will see you in just a moment. And we return from the darkness of taking a break to stand up and stretch, which is always a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because we want to promote tabletop role playing and being able to live long enough to do it. So I like that plan. All right. So we, at this point, let's pick back up with you guys have headed back into town. You can stop at your hotel and pick up whatever supplies you might want. Or wherever else you decide to go next to check the International Cattle Registry. I don't know. It's up to you all. So
Is there
Okay.
what sort of town is this?
it's actually fairly industrial when you get into town.
I guess I'm gonna spend some time finding any occult shops or local libraries because I know Sean will just be excited about that.
I think I can look up like local farmers and see if what's in the area that way. Just to confirm they're weird cows.
Fair.
Yeah.
Is there like I mean, they do have telephones, like a directory of some sort. If I ask the concierge, like, how would I find a guy at the hotel?
Oh, well, the concierge is like, well, you could certainly talk to the local constabulary, if if you're concerned for someone, or uh you suspect that they have done you a wrong. uh you could check around, uh wherever they're known to frequent, I suppose. I'm happy to help point out businesses or taverns or pubs, or those places are often frequented. I mean, the town has a pretty big population. Like, it's
Hmm.
you know
Yeah,
tens
if
of
it was like
thousands of people that
small,
live
I'd
here.
just
Yeah.
go down the pub and ask them, "Hey, where's George?" Um,
So even the concierge is kind of like, we don't really offer a findsman service, I'm afraid. uh,
Unfortunate.
but if you want, you I you've got the guy's name. You
Yeah.
know that he was employed as a laborer, so you could probably find, maybe there's a union hall or something here in
Mm.
town.
1920.
Yeah, some kind of like laborers union or
Or
a pub that the laborers frequent
yeah,
generally.
certainly. Uh the main sort of industry at this point in town is um cotton, right? This is sort of the cotton capital of the UK.
Okay.
So they have giant industrial processing machines now, and um big automated looms that are making textiles and stuff. So there's lots of big warehouses and industry in town at this point.
Cool. Well, does anyone fancy a pint? And looking for George, what's his name?
Depending, I don't think my thing's gonna take that long, so yeah, I could definitely.
Yeah, I can.
We could
I
meet
could be a
at the
part
bar
of that.
after.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
I'd love a beer.
and I'm sorry, Clara, what was it that you wanted to?
Just looking into local like farmers in the area and see what the
Oh,
I
sure.
know it's sus. I know it's sus, but I just have to ask.
Yeah. All right. So you can find your way down to the ag hall, as it were.
Excellent.
And there's some local farmers that are sitting there, and they're having a discussion about, do you remember the winter of 12? Oh, well, that storm wasn't nearly like aught 3. It's just standard farmer talk that's happening as you approach.
I'm gonna ask this. I'm going to go in like with as I'm trying to like, what's the most tactful way to do this? Notebook and pen, like
Kick
a
open the door.
journalist,
Or that,
like
yeah.
a journalist, and do the like, and just do you mind if I ask you some questions? And just go to like
Oh.
a group of them.
No, that would be fine. You're more than welcome to. What is it that you need to know, Miss?
Shehi, I'm looking for I was just traveling through past the new BBC tower, and I noticed an odd group of cattle, little
Oh,
white ones.
oh yeah, those are the local ghost cows. Hmm?
I'm sorry, what?
Well, you saw them, eh? They're all white, standing on a hill like a bunch of ghosts.
Oh, so it's just a cute nickname. Who
Yeah,
owns
yeah.
them? They're lovely.
Oh, I don't. No, nobody around here raises them. I think those are just wild cows.
Is that normal?
There's some places there's wild horses, and here we've got some wild cows. I suppose if I was a cattle
Alright.
farmer and not a cotton farmer, I might want to go try and catch some, but never felt the need.
Are there cattle farmers in the area?
Oh, well, sure. There's a dairy farm out north. They've got I don't know 5,000 or 6,000 head of cattle.
But nothing nearby.
Oh no, I mean we're not much of a cow town.
Just the wild herd.
Yeah,
Out that way.
it's never caused any trouble. They're very peaceful. Never had them come stampeding down or hurting anyone, or they kind of graze out there in that public land where they're building that tower. Gonna stink up the skyline over there. They are.
All right. Aside from that, has there been any mischief? Are there any other farms or anything around the area
Sure, there's plenty
where
of
the tower
farms.
is?
Oh, nothing super close. No. There's again out there are some fields that are walled off that have, there's a whole bunch of various things growing, but mainly cotton. That's their primary.
I've got
thing out
nothing
here.
then. Yeah. In that case, I think that's as much as I can do. Other than cool, we've got free cows.
Just ranging, they've never hopped the fence that I know of. And cows don't cotton much to cotton.
I laugh politely.
Yeah, we're taking him out, right? He's definitely Vaesen.
Thank you. Before I go, any other you heard about the tower and the prank, I suppose.
Oh yeah, that's been talk of the town.
But nothing else odd has happened out that way?
Well, no.
People don't go missing.
People go missing? No one. Did the people building the tower go missing?
No.
And you already hear a couple of the other farmers are like starting like, oh, I remember the last time. Wait, remember when old Joseph he disappeared in the woods? And it's just farm talk. Like,
yeah,
enough that it is absolutely old Joseph
right.
got drunk and slept under a tree.
All right. Thank you for your time. And I'm just gonna go. It sounds like that is not a dead end, but definitely a tied off end.
Yeah. The farming community is likely not have a lot more information for you.
That is great. Cool. So yeah, I'll head out and meet with I'll head back and meet everyone at the bar later.
Sure. Anybody else want to do anything before the pub? Okay. So, you enter a bustling pub. Hang on. I was prepared for this in a minute. Heart and Bulldog. So it's got the sign out front is a big stag's head, and sitting in front of it is a little bulldog.
Cute.
And it's kind of the design where like the stag's head is in like a red, and then the bulldog is white sitting in front of it.
Awesome.
And you enter, and it's there's a average afternoon crowd.
No, everyone turns to the door and goes, Saoirse. No. Cool. For a reference that is very old.
I'll see if we can find us a table and kind of get some drinks and eavesdrop a little bit before we
Sure.
start asking questions?
You can absolutely, they have, there's a young looking waiter. He's probably like 17, right? He comes over and um, takes an order. Right? He's happy to bring you all a pint. And hey, did you want food too, or just?
Yeah, I mean, we went trudging through. I'm hungry. We went trudging through a field and whatnot.
I realized I didn't change. I'm still covered in dirt.
That's why the farmers talk to you.
Actually, yeah.
So, yeah, he's, it's pub food, right? You can get a selection of fish and chips and bangers and mash and a shepherd's pie and,
Lovely.
all of that, all of those beautiful, tasty, delicious things. And he brings out the beers first, and then a few minutes later brings out the food that's fairly good, right? It's not atrocious or super excellent, but it's a hearty meal and will happily see you through the day. As far as sort of overhearing, let's do empathy observation roll.
Okay.
All of us, or yeah.
Yeah, you can all make a roll. That's fine.
Sure. You said empathy observation?
Yep.
Well, the food's good enough that Sean didn't hear anything.
The whiskey's good too.
I got 4 5s
Oh,
and
so
1
close.
6.
3
And then like a 1 and a
successes.
4. One
Okay.
success. I roll 8 dice. Wait, is 5 a
Sweet.
success? No.
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 Yeah. So close, but no, 1 success.
So, for the first success between the two of you, you both hear that there was a guy that came in 4 or 5 nights ago, and he was rolling hard, right? He was super happy. He he came in and bought a couple of rounds for the whole bar. Everybody wanted to be his friend. The guy that's talking didn't actually hear his name, but it's a story that his buddy told him. Like, oh yeah, well that doesn't really happen very often, right? But that the guy hasn't been back since. With your additional 2 successes, let me just look up something real fast.
There's some shenanigans afoot.
Mm-hmm. Wonder if that was our George Lewis.
Possible.
Maybe he took whatever was on top of that smooth rock.
He stole the leprechaun's gold. I cannot believe I feel very silly saying it's a leprechaun still.
I'm pretty sure it's a leprechaun.
I'm basing all my lore on the horror movie Leprechaun.
Yes.
The documentary.
Yes, the great documentary.
With Jennifer Aniston.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot she's in the movie.
With your additional 2 successes, I will give you the information that some other guy in the pub is hearing him talk about this, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that absolutely was George Lewis, right? He, he was just a common laborer, right? He shouldn't have. Maybe he came into, the talk is like maybe he had a rich uncle that owned a cotton farm that died or something, and now he's moved out to take care of it. There's several competing theories are being discussed, right? Like, where did this
Came
guy
into money.
get some money, and where did he go? You know, like why would he have left town after, you know, that kind of stuff.
Mm. Mm-hmm. I'll kind of motion to our waiter to do you guys share that with the table?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We probably all just sort of like, so you can hear.
So I'll wave our waiter over.
Oh, yes.
Wondering if you can help us with a bit of information. We're consultants, you see, for the tower. The radio tower that's being built.
Oh, how excited you're all working radio. That's very
Yes.
interesting.
We're interested to speak to the workers, and one of them wasn't at the tower today. George Lewis is his name. Wondering if you know the man.
Let's see. Hang on. Georgie Lewis. He's a good guy. He, you know, he was a regular, but I haven't seen him in a few days. Last time he was here, he left me £2 as a tip.
£2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, must have come upon some luck that. You wouldn't happen to know where he lives, would you?
Well, I don't know exactly where he lives. He must have been in one of those apartments down around the corner. He was in often.
Apartments.
But I think he came into some money, moved away. That's what I heard. Repeating one of the stories that you heard.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That'll be a bit of help. If you hear anything from him, tell him to come find us.
Oh, and where would he? Oh, up at the tower then.
And I'll just refer him to the hotel. Yeah, we can be reached there.
Oh, certainly. What a nice place to stay. Radio must pay very well.
It does. Good business.
He's kind of like, oh, I know people in radio. Like he seems interested in that whole thing, but wanders off to take care of some other folks.
I suppose we could check out the apartments. It doesn't sound like he's probably there, but we might be able to find some clues about where he went.
Yeah.
Maybe see if there was a tussle, some leprechaun broke up the joint.
Yeah.
Leprechaun.
It's
God.
weird.
Now I'm just
every
imagining
time.
like a leprechaun bar fight, like just running around with the shillelagh, just wailing on people. Like
I'm waiting for the leprechaun bar fight.
Yeah, I think we've seen that on Disenchanted. You know, that little show.
Yes.
God.
It's there.
I did bring my kit with me, which I forgot about equipment, so I went and looked at what the occultist has, and I have a crystal ball that allows me to use observation to search for clues.
Oh
wait, does our stuff do stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I gotta go look at our equipment. I was like, I stopped at dog.
Your pet dog is for close combat, gives you a +1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very
really
glad.
cool.
I'm like, big dog.
No, it could be a tiny dog. It's just fierce.
Even weirder.
Tiny but
very
fierce.
angry chihuahua.
It's a +1 because it's biting their ankles.
I've named her Mab, and she's a terrier. She's little and fierce. No, but the wait, can I have a corgi?
Yo, gosh, corgis are too cute.
It's our Welsh corgi. Named
Although
Mab.
they are referred to as fairy steeds. Are you allergic to the corgi?
Am I allergic to the corgi? We'll figure it out. Anyway.
I suppose it depends on the corgi, right?
We'll see. Maybe we'll need a corgi in game, and then that'll be the corgi. And I'm
How
mildly
long until
allergic to my
Benadryl
dog.
is invented?
I'm mildly allergic to my own dog. I'm gonna do cocaine about it.
Worth it.
Worth it. We'll see maybe we'll see. Anyway, cool. What was I doing before? We're gonna say before we got very distracted.
So he lives in an apartment, and you have some gear with you.
Yeah, I say we finish up our shepherd's pie and go take a look at this guy's apartment.
Go
Yeah.
break into an apartment.
This
Sure.
is yeah.
It's not breaking and
Let's do
entering
it.
if the guy's missing because the leprechaun killed him.
I don't
know if
think
that will
he's
hold up
dead.
in court.
The book
That's
said they
not
do
a-
a violence.
Well, missing is different. Is it different? Well, missing is explicitly different.
I mean,
Well,
missing has a lot to be offered. If depends on.
Let's, let's just go to the apartment.
All right. So you guys finish up. Head over to the apartment. And it's sort of it's an older apartment building. It's like 3 stories, right? But it's fairly large, right? It looks like it takes up the whole block on one side. There's multiple sort of entrances, right? It looks like down the block there's like 5 places where you can enter and exit the building. So there's some people that are coming and going, and a building that big, it's got some traffic in and out, just average afternoon. Some people are walking in with grocery bags.
does it have like mailboxes or anything that have like names on them?
That's a good call. Yeah, of course it would. So in the lobby, there's if you go up the little set of steps, you kind of enter a sort of common lobby area that does have a whole big bank of mailboxes on the side. There's actually like a person that's sort of sitting there, like with one of those like a half door, right? Where the top half can open and the bottom half stays shut, with a little counter built onto that door. That looks like it's not like there's a reception area in this apartment. It's not fancy like that, but like it's somebody that's clearly paid to sort of be like a mild level of security for the post, and maybe to accept packages that are too big to fit in the mailbox, and then provide some level of security about the lobby, right? Like not let hooligans come in here and bust up the place, kind of thing. But they don't seem very worried about 4 civilized-ish looking people
Okay.
coming in.
If we can get what like unit number he's in from the mailboxes, then we'll just go find his apartment.
There is no reason why you couldn't wander over there and glance past a few of those, unless you're particularly trying to do it without being seen by the worker.
Not really. If they don't seem too vigilant, like, hey, what
No.
are you doing in here? Then I'll just walk about like I own the place. And
Mhm.
Yeah. So you can tell he is in 332. It's one of the top floor apartments.
332. All right, up we go.
And it does not have an elevator. There's sort of like a long hallway down the middle leading out of this. Like you entered on one end of the building, and there's sort of this lobby area, and then this long hall that goes down. You see there's apartment doors down both sides. And then you see there's like smaller little lobbies at each of the points where people could come up. And there's a stairway that leads upstairs. So you head upstairs to the 3rd floor, and you walk down the hallway. And you find 332. And you're standing in front of a door with a number on it. And a brass knocker.
Should we knock or?
I knock.
Yeah. Might as
All right.
well.
Just to be careful.
You rap on the door a few times, and nothing much happens.
All right.
I knock louder.
Okay. Like, do you go from using the polite little brass knocker to, like, banging on the door?
Yes.
Okay. So you bang on the door a few times.
Now that we've done our due diligence, we can break in.
And nothing much happens there.
Okay. I'll try the doorknob.
Okay. You try the doorknob, and the door swings open.
Not a good sign.
Not at all. In we go.
Okay. Stepping inside, Saoirse, you should make a physique roll.
1 success.
Okay, you're all right. You're good.
Doing okay.
And you step into the apartment, and it looks like you kind of enter into a living room kind of area. There's a door that leads into a bedroom, and then there's a little dining table and a kitchen area off to the right. But more importantly, there is a man, and he is attached to the ceiling by a whole ring, basically like all the way around his body, like a chalk outline, nailed to the ceiling.
Well, I
And
hate that.
Like
not
blood?
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, yeah, he did bleed from all the places where these nails went in all the way around his body. You know, they're about a half inch apart all the way around. And he is no longer alive.
That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
I was gonna ask.
Like a shoe.
People always
But
do
there's
crucifixion.
There's even some spots where like the nails couldn't go through the flesh around the head, but like the hair is coiled up around each nail and hammered in.
That takes some skill.
Just casually cross myself.
Well, closing
I'll-
the doors.
Yeah. I'll
Just
yank
say-
him down.
No, leave him.
Oh.
Wait. Why not?
Wait.
Okay.
Don't disturb it. Just give us a moment to search the apartment.
Point of clarity.
Mhm.
When I succeed on physical rolls for my allergies, do I still know that, like, obviously this is very supernatural, but like, do I still know that it's that I had to kind of?
I think in this case probably yes.
This is very obvious.
Well, no, I mean, no, but like I'd more put it like a level of severity, right? So when we do that little physique roll, if it's a place where like there's been a lot of activity or something is actively right there, then I'll probably be like, yeah, well, you know, you get a little sniff, but you're good, right? But you'll still know that something's going on in character.
Okay, cool.
If it's a case where like it's just a passing thing or something was there a week ago or whatever, then maybe not. It's
Okay,
just
cool.
your immune system can handle that casual level of exposure. But
I mean, this is fairly obviously something not great. So
yeah, clearly this is not a thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're
Okay.
still in the realm of the mundane. This can definitely happen to people.
It's the level of that you said they're a half inch apart. That's
It's
It's
very
a lot of
detailed.
nails. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to look around to see if there's any specifically I want to look for objects that seem sized and shaped like they would match the indentations of that stone.
That's an interesting question. Well, let's do what is it? A logic investigation for the apartment.
Can I use my crystal ball to search for clues?
Yeah. If you want to take
Okay.
time to like pull it out, set it on the table, like really focus on it, you can do that with it replaces observation in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I get to use observation instead of investigation.
Okay.
Nice.
That's totally cool with me.
And then am I still using logic
Um
or empathy?
what you're specifically trying to look for physical objects, right? Not
Yes.
like what happened here metaphysically or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then let's stick with logic. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
If it's more feelings or are there spirits nearby or anything like that, then we'll go with empathy.
I got 2 successes.
2. Okay. So I love this Vaesen book. It even has one of those delightful silk ribbon placeholders.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
But it's like, however many of those there are, I always want like 4 more. You know?
yeah.
Oh no, you gotta lick it and then dog ear it.
Okay.
Oh.
So, the thing that you turn up is you turn up a box that's maybe 10 inches wide, like it's a 10-inch square box, with like leather bands that hold the lid on, right?
Okay.
And the box is overturned next to the bed in the bedroom. But the box is empty.
Okay.
It appears to be quite old. And with your second success, you absolutely notice that, like, under the edges of the leather bands, it looks like the dirt
Okay.
out there that you saw before.
Is the wood by any chance the same wood as the tower is now made out of?
No.
Hmm.
It is not.
Okay.
But it is, again, you get the very sense of like a craftsman took a lot of time to make this.
Okay.
And it's old, right? Like the leather seems to only be intact because someone has oiled it repeatedly for ages.
Mm-hmm.
And kept it protected in some way, right? The wood itself is, it looks like it was carved out of one solid chunk of a big tree, like a big chunk, like it was
Ah.
carved out of one solid piece. It's not, someone didn't put glue together various bits.
Mm-hmm.
One solid thing.
So I'll put some gloves on and take that over to the rest of the crew.
Sure.
And say I suspect this may match with our strange rock that we found in the hillside.
Oh, what'd you find?
This box, I'm guessing, contained something of importance that this man was killed for.
While you're looking around, I'm gonna take photos because I have a camera.
Oh,
All right.
I realized I had that. It
that
is still
takes people's souls.
it is still a camera from like, the 20s, but it is a camera.
So like a Canon or something.
It's definitely like a Fuji and Stax. I
No, I think you're still well in the Eastman Kodak era of
The flip
camera
phones. Yeah, without the
supremacy.
filters.
yeah, it's definitely oh, actually,
Brownie.
you're not wrong. They're just big. They're a little bulky. It has like the little extendy bit. That's the kind of cameras we're looking at.
Yeah.
I will have to develop them somewhere, but we have camera.
Love that.
Oh yeah,
Good
yeah.
for ghost hunting.
In fact, just this year is the #1A pocket Kodak, the first camera that has the collapsible bellows for the lens.
Heck yeah.
So before, like, a camera was like a whole box, right? Because it had to be big enough for the focal length.
Mhm.
But this is the pocket camera, so it actually has the mechanism where you can open the front and it pulls out the.
It's just straight up
Yeah.
magic.
It was fully the thing that Saoirse bought before they left. It's like, I have pocket money. Very excited about this stupid camera.
Amazing.
So yeah, I will take, I'm going to take some photos of the space and then turn to Diablo and ask him to help me take down the body.
Before you do that, does
Mhm.
anyone object to performing a quick seance just to see if the gentleman has anything to say about his demise?
You probably want to take the body down before that happens.
Yeah,
I can
I mean,
imagine.
It's just going to be screaming otherwise, right?
I don't.
No,
I might be screaming anyway.
There could be screaming either way.
All right. That's fine, I guess.
Whatever you say.
And yes, then we will
Jackie seems visibly uncomfortable.
take him
With
down.
the body on the ceiling, yeah.
Yeah. Well, while I approach this person, Diablo is gonna look him over, and I don't, knowing like the expertise required to nail someone on the ceiling, looking over the visual puncture marks, checking underneath his tongue and jaw, seeing if there's anything, as well as double checking his throat too. Just as he kind of like shoves his hand in there and just kind of like, okay, doesn't seem if there's anything in there he wants to know.
As
Looking
long as
a
you're
pulse for the
molesting
inside.
yeah, as long as you're molesting the body, can you check the pockets too?
Yeah, sure. And just other hand, while one hand's in the throat, the other hand's in the pocket. Like, okay, got here.
So when you go to open the mouth, right? And reach inside, you pull out a single little metal coin. And it is a coin that you are not at all familiar with. But it looks very old.
Are you sure about that?
I'm gonna gently place that like on the ground for them to look at.
Sure. So if you all want to do a logic learning roll about the coin, I'm happy to provide additional information, but
Sure.
it is a weird enough looking coin that it is not a coin that is in service anywhere that any of you have seen before, for sure.
Like, is there a pamphlet on coin collecting in
It's
my
Canadian.
pockets? It's a
On my
Canadian
2 dice,
leprechaun.
I got one.
I
You
do
got
not
one success?
recognize this. Nice.
All right. I'm so excited for the part where we stop doing logic learning rolls and I have to do anything else because I'm gonna be miserable.
I can't wait for when you have to fight a leprechaun one-on-one. I want to see that fight.
I'm gonna get my teeth kicked in.
It's going to be awesome, though. I want to see it.
We got to get you a pupper first.
I get doggo, then first doggo, then leprechaun. That is no successes. Lots of 5s.
I like how the just a guy from Texas is the only one of us that knows anything about this coin.
Yeah.
Coins.
Oh, my grandpa used to collect coins. Actually, you can see here.
It's Canadian. Yeah.
It's a Canadian coin.
That makes sense.
So you would like looking at the coin, what you gather from it is, man, I'm trying to fit in information about the coin with what would exist in Jackie's worldview, right? Like,
Sure.
It's like, is it more like a thing like Grandpa collected old coins, or is it more like you once read a book about it because you were bored, or?
I think Grandpa used to Grandpa was like, don't use banks, get money in gold. And so he had a coin collection that he would bury around the farm.
That's so cute.
Okay.
That's sort of weird.
I
so
want to meet your daddy.
This coin is silver. And it's worn, but it doesn't look like it was worn to the point where it was like circulated a lot. Okay. Let's see. It's sort of got a little hammered edge to it, which was one of the things that old coin makers did to try and stop people from shaving them, right? So like if you got a coin and the edge didn't look like it had the same hammer pattern all the way around, then you'd know, oh, well, somebody could have trimmed off a little bit around the edges and saved that silver for themselves for making fake coins or anything like that. it's stamped. You don't make out the language, but it's definitely not English. But it looks like a coin that your grandpa might have had one of that was an English coin from like the Anglo-Saxon period of England, right? Like very old, talking about, 2,000 years, 1,000 years old, somewhere around the year 1,000, let's say, right?
Right.
Of a coin, but you don't recognize exactly where the coin's from, right? It looks similar to that, but again, it doesn't have English on it, but the design is almost the same. That's why you kind of recognize a little bit.
Am I the only one that got any successes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Insane.
Y'all not going to believe this, but I think my grandpa had a coin, and he doesn't actually. You know what? No, he's probably not. He'll pick it up. My grandpa had a coin just like this, or not exactly like this, but man, I tell you, I think this thing's real old, like old, like thousands of years ago old.
That is quite old.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it's handcrafted. It's got the hammer marks here. He was telling me that people would shave a bit off the coins just to keep it for themselves, and so they did these special patterns on the outside, and it's got the whole pattern. So, is
there any chance that Saoirse or you said the writing on it looked like it was some old language, but
it's a language not English.
Not English,
but not Gaelic or Welsh. You're not actually Welsh,
and
but
it doesn't
actually
it doesn't
Welsh.
appear like Latin
or Latin.
It does not appear to be Latin. I'll give you that. Do you actively? Does anybody actively speak Welsh or Gaelic or read it?
Sean,
well, the coin's way too small for Welsh on it.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I do like the idea of
Words
just
are
being
this
like,
Yeah.
I want it to be Welsh, so we could just be like, Sean, you could read. Nope.
Nope.
But
I will say she does speak some Welsh, but not fluently. So don't ask her to.
Saoirse would speak Gaelic, but I don't know. But I just because she's pretty hardcore Irish, but I don't think that but that seems like a cheap cop for having had no successes. So I will leave that to you.
I mean, you are a writer too, so
yeah,
it would make sense for you to speak Gaelic as well.
Can any of y'all read this? It ain't Latin. I mean, in my experience, all this old stuff's got Latin all over it.
I am torn because I feel very vindicated that this is a leprechaun, but I'm also very upset.
Now, I thought leprechauns had gold coins.
It's just treasure.
I mean,
it's just
coin of any
treasure.
sort in a box and shenanigans generally means leprechaun.
I suppose it's too hopeful to hope that's just sentimental value.
Yeah. Also, I think in general, like the fairy tales you hear are, they're wiped clean of the horrors that reality has. So
you should spend time in Ireland.
So let's do another logic learning roll specifically
I have an idea.
for. Okay.
Can I use my crystal ball as magnifying glass to look at the coin?
Hell yeah.
Here's my question.
Gonna be upside down.
I will give you +1 to use the crystal ball. That's fine.
Okay.
But this is gonna be it's difficult.
Unless can I use automatic writing?
Ooh.
Sure. You can bust that out on any time you want. You just say that's what you want to do.
Let me just double check. It gives me one more dice effectively, a die effectively, because lets me use inspiration rather than logic, rather than learning. And I have a 3 in that.
That sounds good.
And maybe I'll roll poorly.
Well, now, before you do it, specifically, what's the focus of your automatic writing here? The coin, the dead guy on the ceiling, the...
Are we also doing a seance?
Yes.
Then I'll focus on the coin. This may be how we do the seance. I can focus on the coin maybe. Although
Okay.
I think if we're doing a seance, I don't need to do any weird channeling thing. You're gonna do it.
Let's just ask the dead guy what happened first, and if that goes
Yeah.
terribly wrong, you can ask the coin.
I'll do the flat logic. I won't use the automatic writing then. We'll do that later.
All right.
So only 7 dice, not 8. And that is 1 success. Jeez.
1 success. Okay.
Nice.
So you can make out the word king in Gaelic. And the actual engraving looks like a guy holding a scepter in front of him. So it's like this is a royal issued coin. Yeah. And it is definitely not an English coin.
The coin's old.
I told you.
Unless we know anything more about history, that it's not from here. That's what I got.
But I will say that Ireland's not very far from where you are now as the crow flies, right?
Yeah, it's an Irish coin. It's not from here. Like it could have traveled with somebody, because seeing how far people do travel around, even now, it's not that far.
I mean,
No.
a coin this old would have to be worth quite a bit for a calling card. So, I mean, it lends
Then
a lot of
why-
credence to your leprechaun theory.
Well, I mean, if someone's gonna leave a calling card, I mean, if you're gonna kill someone, it's an intense experience. You want to leave something that matters, not something that's cheap, you know?
I suppose.
I hate that I followed that logic.
Murder
Yeah.
logic with Diablo.
This has been murder with Diablo. Otherwise, I think a seance is a good idea. If we could just ask the
Sure.
source.
Yeah, Sean's just been like setting up candles. Is everyone ready?
Yep. Is there?
We're
do
doing this
this.
now.
Yeah.
Make a
Okay.
circle
Seance.
round below the dead body. Hold hands, everyone. Okay, question. So medium says you can use observation to perform seances where you can contact the dead. Am I just rolling observation, or am I rolling observation and empathy?
I would say observation and empathy,
Okay.
because it's you're definitely focused. Well, and you're specifically focused on the fact that there's a dead body right here, right?
Yeah.
Like you're focused on this guy and the thing. You're not looking for like the old lady that had a heart attack downstairs,
Right.
or
Yeah.
like, or just random passing spirits. You're aimed at one in particular. So
Okay.
I would say that empathy absolutely applies.
Great. And can I use my crystal ball as a focus to for a little bonus?
Yeah, that would
Okay.
absolutely make sense to me.
Fantastic. Let's raise the dead.
Well, be careful
Not
saying that.
raise.
Yeah, no necromancy.
No raising.
Chill.
Well, I did get 3 6s, so
Ooh.
So we raise the dead.
Does it specifically have anything listed about your seance?
it just says extra successes provide more information, prolong the contact, or cause spirits to materialize. On failure, you're given inaccurate information, attacked, or suffer a condition.
Cool. So
Oh, we get this. You can get attacked. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't fail, so you're not being attacked.
I didn't.
So with what I'll say is that it takes a little while. It feels like the world is turbulent right around here.
Okay.
Sorry. Dog eating literal homework
Oh no.
problems. Surprise for the kids in the morning.
Surprise.
Just oops, do it again. uh but where was I? Oh yeah, it's sort of turbulent in the room for a while, but eventually your focus kind of stills the spiritual waters, so to speak, right? And literally out of the body on the ceiling floats down, a full-on Jedi Force ghost looking version of the guy, right? Like just a blue tinted sort of glowing spirit that floats down and like immediately is coughing, right? Just and kind of straightens up and looks around at all of you, sort of confused, right? Like looks like he starts to try and say something, but it's silent, right? He's just not verbally communicating, or like he's trying to, but no sounds coming out.
Okay.
With your second success, I let him, like, he kind of coughs again and spits out like a spirit version of the coin that you found in his hand, and then he's able to make noise, right? He looks around and he goes, what are you doing in my house?
Don't
What?
tell him I was elbow deep in his mouth.
I won't. Under my breath. Hello, Mr. Wilson. We've got a bit of bad news for you, but we are here to help. Just have some questions, if you wouldn't mind answering. We're from the consultants from the tower, you see.
Oh. And he looks nervous, right? He's what questions did you want to ask me?
It's all right. You're not in any trouble. Not to worry. We're,
Oh,
as I said,
okay.
we're here to help you with your situation and all that. Um, I believe you found something at the tower site and maybe brought it home with you.
Oh. Uh, not not anything that belonged to the tower.
No, no, of course not. But it did belong in the hill, you see.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And then like it's almost like you watch his face and he goes through, like it's like he remembered finding the thing and then fast forwards through what happened and suddenly like freaks out, like he like
Mm.
just like ah, and he looks up and then he starts to scream, right? Like he's like super, like he's just bawling and like, what did you do, what did you do?
Well, it wasn't us, if you remember correctly. We're here to help. And
What are you
remember,
gonna help?
we're gonna help get you down and make sure that you get your proper rest. But we need to know who did this. Do you remember how this happened?
I
You
I
took the
found,
box with the coins, yeah?
yes, and I sold a few to a man that he's got a shop.
Do you remember what his
And
name is?
oh, it's it's Dolly's, like not not like for children, but Dolley. That's his shop. I'm assuming his name is Dolly. I didn't ask his name. He was working in the shop.
Nope, that's perfectly fine.
And then I figured if he bought them for so much that I would be able to sell the rest and move away from here.
Hmm,
But
sound logic. Did you sell any more?
no,
Just
just
those two?
10 I sold to him.
10? And did you spend any in the pub? Heard you had kind of a wild night, bought some rounds of drinks.
Well, the money I got from selling the coins. That's
Okay. But not the actual coins themselves.
no.
All right. And then what happened?
Uh, then you know, I came home from the pub and I was a little bit sauced, and I came in my house, and then I think there must have been some robbers
Hmm.
that were they must have seen that I had that money at the pub and wanted to get their piece and snuck in to my house to wait for me, and I got hit real hard in the stomach, and doubled over, and then someone hit me on the side of the head. There must have been 3 or 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm here, and apparently I'm dead. I don't like this turn of events very
I'm afraid
much.
that you are correct and that you are dead, sir. Um,
And they stole all the rest of my fair coins.
they did. Them probably being who owns the coins in the first place, you see. So, maybe stolen back is the right term.
Hey, Sean, can you ask him if he was nailed alive or did the nails come after?
Great question. So you were hit in the head and you don't remember the specifics of this happening, correct?
No.
That's probably for the best. We'll make
And,
sure to get you
like,
down.
specifically, if you look up at, now that he's mentioned it, like, there is a big
Mm,
hit, you know, so
okay.
like in the hairline on the side of the head.
Okay. Do you have any next of kin, anyone we should let know about your untimely demise?
Oh, no, I don't have any family. I me me mom and dad, they not around anymore.
No.
I didn't have
Is
any.
there any arrangements you'd like for yourself for your passing?
Well, I don't know how much money I've got to pay for anything nice,
Oh,
but
don't worry about that.
you know, just a place to rest, I guess. Is that what I'm supposed to ask for?
Whatever you like. Maybe rest near your parents.
Well, that's a long way off.
Ah,
I'm come down from the north. Me family was up in York, but no, somewhere near here. I had a good life here.
all
Just to,
right then.
you
We'll
know,
make sure that happens for you.
I
Um,
suppose see me to a churchyard and a place to lay down.
of course. Sounds nice. We'll pick someplace lovely for you. And you don't remember what the guy's plural looked like at all. You didn't get a
Well,
look at
I
him.
didn't see anybody. It was dark. I hadn't even turned on the lights.
Hmm.
But
No worries.
they hit real hard.
Hmm, they did that, yes. Well, I'm sorry for your luck.
And how the hell did they put me up there? And why? Why would they do that if they come to steal me money?
Sometimes you just never know. But that's why you shouldn't be taking things out of hills and all that. Um,
Thick world out there, I tell you.
it is.
If I
But
figure
hopefully,
out how to come back, I'm gonna go find them thieves.
oh, I don't recommend it. Best be off to someplace a little bit better than this, eh?
Oh, I hope so. I tried to be a good man. Didn't mean to steal nothing.
That you did.
Things in
Um,
a hill don't usually belong to a bunch of thieves. Come beat you up and kill you, put you on your roof.
true.
I was a
Sometimes it does
kid.
happen, though. Is there anything else you need to be able to rest?
No, maybe maybe tell me neighbors so that they want to move out of a place where hooligans can come in here and killing in the night. It's not as nice a place as we all thought.
We'll make sure and let them know, and maybe they'll have a nice wake for you.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, we'll let your friends down the pub know as well. Right then. I don't think you want to stick around for us getting your body down, but
It won't be pretty.
Oh. No, I suppose not. Like, is there anything else
I don't. I
supposed to
mean,
do?
no, you've
I
been
mean-
very, very helpful. You can get some rest now.
I
Okay.
got one question, if that's okay.
Right.
Can you whisper it to me real quick first before you ask the man?
Yeah, sure. Sean, can you ask him, like, looking back on his life, was it all worth it? Can he say that I lived and I mattered? Or was it all just for nothing,
I think we're gonna leave that one for another day. This man's been through a lot.
And he's about to go through something worse, maybe.
Maybe something better.
Is that how life works out, though? Is there always something better? I feel like if there's another horizon, it's usually something more horrific.
It's not always so. I've had some good horizons,
That's fair. Well, now I'm trusting you. He'll sit back. Well, he'll get up and start heading towards the body, like, I got work to do.
But she'll let him
Okay.
know. We're gonna spare you more questions and let you get some rest.
Oh, all right. And he turns and he just starts walking towards the door, but every step he loses like 50% opacity, right? Until he gets to the door and his hand reaches the doorknob, and that's when he just fades away.
Oh, is this
boy.
like the end of Ghost? That was that movie, right? With Yeast peas.
So then you're standing in the apartment. And the longer you've been in here, the more you've noticed that, like, he's been there a few days.
I was gonna say,
So
it
he's
smells
not-
terrible, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not the freshest
Probably not great.
of rooms
Mhm.
to be in.
This seems like a very obvious question, but should we alert the police?
I don't really want to get up in that. That doesn't sound good. Let's not. Let's just. Let's skip that. I don't think we. Yeah. Let's. Let's not.
I mean, technically, yes. They will ask some questions about what we were doing in here. The door was open, and
we
there were
are
signs of a struggle.
And we were officially on an investigation, so I don't think we're in the wrong here if we at least.
True.
Well, the problem is that they're going to be looking at. We should maybe, just so it doesn't look suspicious when we leave.
We should. We should get him down though, because that looks very suspicious.
Yeah, I'll just pull him down. Like, it's. I think we're done here. Like.
So Diablo gets over there and reaches up and just grabs onto it, like a handful of pant and a handful of shirt front and gives a heave ho. And it's as gross as you can imagine. Yeah. He's left quite a bit on the ceiling still, but most of it came down.
The chalk
one pull?
outline, the outline of nails is not less suspicious than him being on the ceiling.
No, that's also
Maybe they
true.
won't look up.
I
mean, should we fetch some pliers or a hammer and
I
start
think
pulling
we're
them nails down?
done here. I mean, serial killers happen a lot. Like, let's just.
Okay. Last thing to observe before I want to be done with the body. The nails, does it matter what they're made of?
Oh.
I don't
Well,
think so.
They just look like, well, do you have any familiarity with the different types of nails in the world?
I don't think so. I think this would be, unless there's a pamphlet involved. I don't know that this is
The
something that
pamphlet of nails in the
I could take a
crucifixion.
nail and look into it later, I assume. But
You absolutely
oh my
could.
goodness.
There's extra.
I think it's a good idea.
So
I
you
think-
can absolutely take a nail and we can look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
That's
that's gonna be a
totally-
thing we do.
That's totally fine.
And I photographed the space.
Yes, you have taken multiple pictures, both before and after the great pulling. And so you have gathered a lot. Now, you've got the guy down. You're good. If you want to, are you going to try and pack him out, or are you going to call the authorities from here after you clean the ceiling?
I mean,
I
I
think
say
call-
we're done, but
Call the authorities from here after giving the ceiling a once over.
I feel like, yes, I think clearing off the ceiling. My thing is, everyone saw our faces downstairs, whatever. If we leave and there's just a dead body that we didn't report, that looks bad on us. So
Well,
I mean,
Really?
who's gonna accost us knowing that we did that?
I hate that I get the logic.
there is,
That's a fair point.
there is only the one employee down there, and he did not seem super interested in you guys. And nor did you make any kind of a scene downstairs. So
Probably nobody noticed us.
Yeah, see, I'm fine.
And I'll give you one for free. You could go down one of the other staircases and out a different exit, so you don't walk past
Do
the
we
same guy. again.
really? Do we really want to take this with us? Like
Take what?
anything other than like? I still think we should let Bobby's handle this part, but that is
certainly
my
can do that.
thoughts.
Yeah.
So I give you a menu of options here, right? Number one, you can pull the nails out of the ceiling and do a little bit of a cleanup job up there. Leave the body on the floor, leave and call the police anonymously, right? Option two, you clean up the ceiling, call the police from here, and wait and make a whole report and do all that. Option three, you go Harvey Keitel from Pulp Fiction and you clean the hell out of this apartment and pack the guy away to take with you and leave no trace.
How many other people live in this apartment?
It's a
It
lot.
looks like he lived here by himself.
Well, I
You
mean,
don't
like
see
in
any-
the building, because an
Oh, a
option
lot.
is to burn it. Okay, all right. No,
No,
we
there's a
can't burn it
lot
down.
of, like, it's a big building full of
All right.
people.
Also, I told the ghost that we would tell the neighbors and the his friends down at the pub what happened to him.
I think
like-
that filing a report makes the most sense, keeps our names as clean as possible, and
Yeah.
Okay.
also, and we be on our merry way. And if we want to make it look like a very bloody robbery, then we've done that.
Nah,
Yes.
that's fair.
Most, and I blood.
Yeah.
All
so,
right.
Robbery
you
gone wrong.
and he
If
had
you guys
loudly-
want me to handle it, I guess I could stay here and make sure they got everything.
Who got every what?
You know, like if we're gonna chat with the police, or we're just gonna,
I think we can just call and make a report.
all right.
I mean, we could always tell them that, we worked for the, if you want, we could be anonymous. We could just say, oh, we're neighbors and found him, or we happened upon him, or we could say that we work for the radio company and we were, running down an investigation, found him like this.
we
I
have
like that.
That
we
is
have
the
good
truth?
reason to be here. That is the truth.
Yeah,
Right.
I think.
And then we
the-
could just give the radio man's line and he can explain it.
Exactly.
love it.
That sounds perfect. I guess let's head home and I'll run you a bath, Sean.
I think a bath is a good idea after being in this smelly apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a great place to wrap it up for tonight. We can pick up next time with any specifics of a police report and then moving on in the investigation.
I thought we were
Uh,
starting off with naked wrestling again.
That's how
Every
Diablo
time.
loves to start his day.
It's just their morning tradition
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Street outside of a hotel in Liverpool. I'm sure that'll go over great.
Yeah, they're like
Best part of waking up.
It's naked Diablo. Yeah.
In your cup.
So, yeah, that's a good place to stop, I think, because
Okay.
I don't want to get into a scene of dealing with the police, or I also don't want to go into a whole new whatever. So
Yeah, fair.
that's been grand. Thank you, internet, for joining us, or for listening to us later in audio formats or video formats
Bye.
from your favorite providers of these things. This has been London Calling. Vaesen. I'll keep correcting myself as many times as I remember. Actual play here on the Happy Jacks Network. A big thanks to our awesome chat moderators tonight. I believe Dorklord Canada and James were both there tonight, helping out and keeping an eye on things. So I greatly appreciate it, because I know as a GM I certainly don't have the bandwidth to try and deal with chat also. I tried once when we first sort of switched to doing some online games, and it was a mental disaster area, right? I was just like, and people are funny in the chat, and I'm like, I can't. It's a serious scene. I'm supposed to be. It was when we were doing our things from the Flood game, so I'm like, heartfelt emotion scene. Oh, funny jokes. let me let me not jump on those. Yeah. I have gone and made my watch angry at me, and it started yelling. So big thanks there. I greatly appreciate it. The other group of folks that will get a special thank you in a little while are all the Patreon contributors. I'll put up their thank you page here as soon as we've done our little outros with all of us. And I greatly appreciate that as well, because it pays for a cool place for me to go play games sometimes and hang out with friends. So I appreciate it. With that, I have been CADAVE, and I will be back next Monday to see where you're gonna go next in your hunt for leprechaun cows. Let's go same order again. Clara.
Hi, I'm Clara. You can find me all over the. I got so far. Hi, I'm Clara. You can find me all over the internet as clearly_golden, unless you're into mermaids, in which case you can find me on Instagram as mermaid_clarity. Right now, I'm here every Monday and over on Queen's Court Games media situation. I don't do their streaming stuff. I do their podcasts. I don't know. Over on the place you listen to podcasts, you can listen to the All Night Society, where I play my Legacy, a La Sombra investigator who is all of my top energy coalesced into one character, but with all of the goblin energy from the rest of my being. So that's fun. Anyway, season 2 is coming out, so you should catch up on season 1. Other than that, I'll be around. Sometimes I even tell people where I'll be on Twitter. Doubtful, though.
All right.
Sweet.
Mitch.
My name is Mitch. You can find me at Mitch S. Bustillos, but more importantly, I'm so excited to check out this game that one person of this stream had to do something with. There's like a name here and like several last names of the same name. It's amazing. So I'm really excited to try this out. So it took like, I think about a week to get here. So I'm super excited. So yeah, lighthearted. Check it out. Oh, curse you, green screen. Obey me. That's it.
All right. Speaking of lighthearted, Kurt.
Hi, I've been Kurt. You can find me online at Kurt Potts at Twitter. I've also started doing TikToks recently, so you can go watch me ramble about RPGs over there at Kurt Potts. As Mitch so kindly mentioned, I am the co-author of Lighthearted, a 80s magical 80s RPG. You can find that at lighthearted.games, where you can get a print or digital version of that game and learn more about it. There's going to be a release coming up soon of an adventure So keep an eye on my Twitter or go to lighthearted.games and sign up for the newsletter to find out when that comes out.
Dig it. And Sam.
Hello, I'm Sam. You can find me on the socials at Red Pandroid, and here every Monday with this lovely game. I don't really have anything else to plug, so thanks for listening, and thank you to all of our amazing players for making this so fun.
Oh,
Fantastic. And with that, we bid you all good night. Bye.
Bye.
Here comes that Patreon thank you thing. I swear. Here it comes.